I'm happy that he has the confidence to say that in the interview, but we'll see.
Doesn't necessarily like conform to what are we going to do about the CK. The CK is something that I assume they're going to want to address like later on in the draft, potentially with something like a Medusa, but we'll see where it goes. You don't always have to do what the meta tells you to.
Also, I don't want to be, trying to throw out the left field suggestion straight away. First panel back, 2-3. But don't forget, Gunnar was the lad that would play the mid.
That's right. You're right.
About 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, maybe. It was you go for normal like Shard, Blink, BKB. Once you get to level 20 with the attack speed talent, you're getting like, I think it was like Mjolnir. You're right clicking whilst running around. Like, Nouns are a team that they like to do crazy stuff. Like in the pro series that they played the other day.
10 seconds.
Let me just list off some heroes and roles. They played Dawnbreaker carry. They played Tusk mid. They played Earth Spirit mid. They played CK5. They played too many heroes on 4. Like, this is a team that will happily change it up. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe it's in contention for them, but let's see. This is the exciting thing about this team and what makes them fun to watch. Unfortunately, doesn't push them to higher positions in the region, but still very creative at least.
Yes, and may I just take a little pedal towards the China region since we brought up LGD, but Crystal Maiden was also picked by Astra versus Ares. And I didn't watch that series, so I didn't know, but I just checked it out. And she did actually manage to win a game then.
She did? No. Oh.
Yeah, Aster won a game with Crystal Maiden, although she is 0-2 in the eHome LGT series.
Oh, pain. Alright, don't bring that one up, Haley. Just stop at the good point, alright? Just fair maiden.
But she is definitely like rising in popularity, so there's more to this hero, I suppose, than just the laning stage. Maybe just the group up potential with the aura, her just giving mana to her team every time she casts a spell. That could be helpful. Like you're looking at something like a Beastmaster, so you know that at some point Nouns are going to look to group together. So having a hero like Crystal Maiden who just inherently thrives in situations like that could also be something.
And I love the bans from both teams now. Like EG, they banned two other than like Juggernaut being a traditional CM laner, Bloodseeker and Alchemist both really enjoy laning with CM because of their ability to like push out the lane and pressure. Be it Bloodseeker with the Blood Right, Alchemist just putting down his acid spray with a concoction on top. Like there is so much damage from the safe lane paired with a CM. So EG is very much respecting what the CM can do in laning phase. And then from Nouns, they're kind of covering their first two picks with the heroes that just break open the fights. We saw it in the EU region earlier today, where like this Lesh or this Pango style of hero, when you're doing Beastmaster CMs, these kind of squishier heroes, they hate having heroes who buy BKBs or Rolling Thunder that just cut deep and you can't position correctly. So yeah, I really love the bans from both teams in this second phase.
Although I am a bit nervous for CM's ability to live in a game versus a CK, right? Given the kind of laning switch, like this doesn't necessarily have to be a safe lane CK. It can just be an IO pairing on the off lane that could just like feed off of CM relentlessly, right? And that would probably be the worst case scenario for that hero because, as T mentioned, they are banning out a lot of the good lane pairings that make the hero stronger. Because if you're picking CM in lane and you guys aren't winning it, then you're kind of just in a situation where you're playing with Crystal Maiden on your team.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just gotta you just gotta Crystal Maiden and when you're lane, so you don't really know what to do then. But they take out the Medusa as well as the BS and Alchemist, and Medusa would have just been a typical counter to the CK, obviously, because of the split shot damage and the Mystic Snake and the Stone Gaze and all of that.
Instead, they
it
follow
feels like
up with
now.
Mirana.
Yeah, like it feels like the Juggernaut's like the big obvious for like the carry role right now. If you're thinking about the perfect lane with CM, but it's so obvious that EG, they're aware of it, right? Like this isn't gonna be like a surprise that they picked it. Like Beast plus Jug with the CM in lane, you play for 15 minutes, you do like a shard build on the Juggernaut, like Yasha Maelstrom, you're spinning at your opponent. Like this is kind of the play style that I'm kind of thinking about from Nouns, but maybe they changed up and they have a different philosophy.
Well, they need to come up with a philosophy to counter out this CK, because I don't see many answers so far from their heroes. There's still, I don't know, maybe a Leshrac available in the pool. Evil Genius, Puck, Timbersaw.
This is doubly rough. Yeah, now it just feels like Jug is the pick. Jug into Timbersaw at least early on. You can kill him with the spin. Eventually you just leave lane whatever, but you have some kill threat. But then the Puck, there's no clean disable for him right now, so
yeah. And outside of there not being clean disable, it feels like Mirana and Crystal Maiden both suffer versus Puck. First of all, Crystal Maiden is a very slow moving hero, so the stream coil, you don't want to get coiled as a Crystal Maiden, but especially as a Mirana. Mirana's usefulness in team fights is kind of leaping away, throwing out arrows, maybe using like an urn here or there on a teammate, maybe using somebody. But if you're just stuck in a situation where you die first as Mirana, you can't even make the most out of a hero like this. And obviously, yes, it is the Z-Freak Mirana, which he is famous for. Plays a really excellent roaming, and he does have spells to pair the arrow into for the early game. But it just seems so dependent on this early game going well for Nouns. If it doesn't, then what do you do?
I'm happy they picked Monkey King, actually. It gives them a little bit more, again, like I mentioned, laning presence against the Timbersaw. They needed at least some stun against Puck. It's not great. Again, trying to rely on a monkey stun against Puck isn't the best thing, but at least gives them something to play around. I think for me, my concern for Nouns is just after laning phase, if it doesn't go like well for them, where they've got some kills, they've made Timbersaw feel weak, and Puck's having to do everything, it is just going to be this Timbersaw parks in lane, Puck rotates in when she wants, and then there's a relocate on top. It's going to be super hard for this kind of skirmishing lineup of Nouns to take objectives. And they really rely on winning their lanes, utilizing the kind of the strengths that they have and just running over their opponent. And that's hard to do against an elusive Puck and a Timbersaw and this IO just giving the CK free farm.
Dire team ban.
So where do you think this Mirage is going? Are we looking for a mid laner as the last pick on Nouns? Because EG are banning out the Void Spirit, and I guess the Monkey King was primarily picked to deal with the Timbersaw in the safe lane. So
yeah, this is a 4 Mirana for sure. There's not really a better role to put her as. I know some people have experimented with core Mirana, and it used to be a lot better before they changed her shard, but now she doesn't even have that core shard
I have not
anymore,
seen
so I
that
don't think
blue
it's that
fire roar thing a single time, I don't
it's
think.
so bad. You know, it's so bad. They're stealing the animation of another hero to make this a thing. You know, that's when you know it's a bad spell, you know?
It's because you know that the devs are even like, we don't really know if this is going to be in the game that long.
They gave her a different animation.
Oh, that's true. They did finally change it. I think they did.
To be fair, they changed it, yeah, like 5 days into it. It's just,
that's why
nobody buys it. Nobody buys it. That's
the last time I saw it was when it first came out, so my bad.
It's okay, you are forgiven. But the other proposal is that it could still be mid Crystal Maiden if Gunner wants to whip it out.
The Frostbite against the Puck early on. Big lockdown.
That's what I'm saying.
Jokes aside, they are second pick, right? So they get to do whatever they want with their final pick. For EG, it's arguably picking up some playmaking position for. You see the Hoodwink ban, the Earth Spirit ban. You kind of need some.
I mean, you do have
to play.
You do have like Boundless Strike to kind of like in theory you can catch this puck. It's not going to be easy, but like if you have this Boundless Strike, which is nigh instant on the puck, followed by like Frostbite into arrow, like you can take down the puck. It's going to be a rough one, man.
Dire team pick.
Yeah, I think for EG, I'm down for some.
At your service.
Okay, they can win runner. All right. I mean, you watch the major, right? You know what the hero can do. You buy charge. You just kind of force them around. Look at that branding from Fly as well. Christ.
Whoa, that has to be intentional.
It's the first ever player that's actually promoted his own name.
He's also literally in like Minecraft graphics right now, so let's hope his connection is better than in game than it is for this.
It's all the muscles.
I'm back. Don't forget me. But I think when Rangers seems like a pretty good fit here, right? With the Gale Force, she's just become a very like high on utility type of support. But you pair that with the Dream Coil, you can just make it so that people can especially not move. But you also have like Power Shot to cut down Monkey from the trees. Shackle Shot can always be an excellent tool if positioned correctly. Like the way we saw Seb play it at the major was shard into like a blink shackle that was set up by the Gale Force. So, and of course, all the damage coming out of Nouns is pretty much, with the exception of the CM, it's physical. So Wind Ranger by nature just counters that. So I can see this Wind Ranger playing a really, really good game.
I think the key thing for Nouns, they round out their draft with the DK, which gives them the counter to Puck, very classic. The Dragon Tail instant stun against. With the stun, I'd argue there isn't enough follow-up damage potentially to actually kill the Puck during that DK stun, but it gives them a way that if their lanes go well enough, they can continue to play around their maps for objectives, punishing the fact that the team fight of EG is Coil, is Gale Force, and Windrunner, and that's kind of it. So if they actually get the ball rolling, they might be able to punish it. But I do favor the overall simplicity of EG's draft. They haven't veered too far away from what they've done throughout this entire year. So Fly coming in, it's not like he's changing up the entire system. He's just kind of fitting himself in, and they're continuing from there. So I am slightly favoring EG. Oh, stop! That tickles! Stop!
It's hard not to favor evil geniuses, as they are still a force to be reckoned with in North America. But Nouns do have some stuff going on their favor. They do have the momentum of the Pro Series win under their belt. But Effie, is it enough to take a game, at least this first game, off of EG?
And it's definitely doable. I think that if the laning stage goes well for them and the Mirana roam is successful, there's a lot of ways to just kill heroes and catch them out. And Monkey King can dish out the damage in the lockdown with the Wukong's command, but like Tigov said, there is a lot of simplicity in just having this easy way to play the map on EG and the simple CK win condition. We saw how effective this hero was during the major, so I would give ease of execution to EG, but I think Nouns have a really good shot with their draft.
Okay, well, let's see the re-debut of the Fly Evil Geniuses with our casters. It's Moxie and Purge.
I'm sorry, Purge, you're just not gonna see it. You're not gonna see the mid-Crystal Maiden today. I know you were very excited that you wanted to see it, but
I didn't know
you're gonna have to wait.
I didn't know it was gonna happen. I didn't know if it was gonna happen for sure.
hoping it would. It's okay. It's not going to be the last time that Nouns play their Dota matches. And if CM is trending right now, hey, eventually it's going to happen. If it's a good game for it, they'll pick it.
Prepare for battle.
Well, we do have some other nice pickups here over on the draft. We have the, I mean, we've seen this quite a few times. We've seen Abed playing that puck. We've seen plenty of CK, plenty of the Wind Ranger. But on the flip side of things, you know, we've got some comfortable picks coming out here for Nouns.
Yeah, I think
their combination of stun stuff is pretty threatening, especially once they put the Dragonite in to the mix to give them that setup. But I definitely agree with what he said. Their damage after those chain stuns might be a bit lacking. In the case of Beastmaster, he's got great disable. He has some damage, but he doesn't provide that much himself. Dragonite kind of similar, more about his disable. Once it gets shard, he's got some damage, but at later phases of the game, sometimes his carry potential is a bit weaker. So if they can get a Spirit Vessel at a good timing on Mirana, that would really help with their damage potential when they do get these disables off. But their lineup does have great chain disable potential.
Would you like to see them get very active early on, so that way Z-Freak has, you know, that advantage of being able to get the gold early, get that vessel online?
Yeah, if he can.
Make a lot of kills happen, it's going to be huge for the game. And this is a hero that Z-Freak is very good at classically. So I see good potential in terms of his laning stage. Maybe it won't be the easiest. Excuse me against Chaos Knight and IO, but I think they should be able to do just fine.
All right, well, we're off to a bit of a quiet start here. Do have some aggression coming out against Moo. Just gonna force him back and have him use some of that regen right off the bat.
Yeah, this is something that
EG likes to do often is pressure the off-lane hero. They might even hit him a little bit more here. Now they're going to go back to the wave to block it a bit. They often pressure the off-laner as they approach, since you can't aggro those creeps anymore. And this gives them a little bit of a regen advantage here. It's going to be a little harder for Beastmaster to get to his Helm of Iron Will.
So how likely is it? So, you know, we have this puck over here in the mid lane. Abed most likely going to want to perform ganks, especially once he gets that Dream Coil online, but you don't want to leave your tower open for a Dragon Knight. So are we going to see a rotation 3-6? Try to slow him down a little bit, or do you think they just don't really care as much?
I don't think it's that important for him to slow down Dragon Knight. It's more like somebody needs to be in the lane at all times, if possible. That way, if nobody's in the lane, then he pushes your creep wave really quick, and he does tower damage. If they leave it empty, he can accomplish that. But if you put somebody like Wind Ranger in the mid lane, you don't necessarily get killed. You can counter push the wave with Power Shot potentially, and then you won't get as much damage on the tower.
I like how we're seeing these just different they're lanes, but they're not lanes, right? They're just dragging them over into weird portions of the jungle.
It's very important in this Monkey King matchup against Timbersaw, because Timber does not want to lane against Monkey King because he gets all of these Jingu hits and then uses that to basically zone out or kill Timbersaw a bunch and limit his level gain. But if you can pull the creep wave like this, it'll get you some levels, and then your lane ends up going okay once you get enough points in reactive armor.
Now, so the little anti-synergistic, I'm trying to say that word, anti-synergistic. I think that's still wrong, but you say it?
Anti-synergistic.
Yeah, that's it. Oh my god, my brain.
That is a tough one, yeah.
But is it, you know, that sort of offset when you have something like the Wind Ranger? Oh, hold that thought. A little bit more pressure being placed on Moo. When you have the Wind Ranger and you have a Timbersaw, right? Because you need to have things to latch for, and I know that's a big deal. We've heard a couple people discuss the idea of, oh, that's a great shackle, actually. You don't need to worry about trees when you have, you know, heroes that line up like a little duck in a row like that. But, you know, you do have Nightfall, who's going to want to Timber Change trees, and you've got Chris, who's going to want to, you know, attach and get these shackles going. Is that something that they have to be hyper aware of?
I think it's
not as bad as the Hoodwink one. I believe Shackle stays on somebody even if you cut the tree that they're latched on, whereas with Hoodwink, if you cut the tree,
so that one's the bigger.
So that one's the bigger problem. I think it'll be fine.
All you got to do, you're
aiming for double hero shackles in most cases, anyways.
Husky gets a D-ward.
Husky gets a D-ward here for the small camp, which is great. Can prevent that. Ooh, he's a Windrun at a bad time too.
He'll be fine.
Okay, he'll be fine.
He's all right. I know that. I think it was Fogged who was saying. We have Nova. Slow down a little bit, and again, Crystal Maiden, slower hero. not going to be able to quite close the gap, especially not with the win run back up on crit. So.
I mean, if he got
in the frostbite range, he definitely gets a kill, so it was a good attempt.
Pop two mangoes
for that. And Crit's going to TP back to base, actually, so
probably the right thing to do.
He would have been out of the lane for way too long. This will cost him a lot, and it's fine, honestly, for his Timber to be in a 1v1 now anyways, because he's got 2 points from reactive, so this is totally fine for EG here.
That's gonna make his way back over to the lane, try to
pressure bottom.
Put a little pressure, but yeah, bottom lane again. Moo. I feel like he's escaped death several times now. It's not looking like he's gonna escape this time around. One more hit. First blood goes over to Arteezy, but they do manage to get the kill on a courier.
Yeah, it's a tough lane there, especially with that Orb of Venom that Arteezy picked up. I mean, he's got this huge mobility advantage. He doesn't have to worry about out trading the Beastmaster anyway, so now he just gets to chase him with the power of the IO speed and the heal. So a little cost change there by picking up the Orb of Venom, but it's absolutely perfect in this game because it's going to give him a bunch of kills.
A little bit of pressure being placed over onto Gunnar, and we're losing a couple more couriers here. Fly's courier also going to be murdered in that lane. It's going to make things a little bit more difficult.
It is.
And this is the one thing that's tough. I guess Mirana can snipe couriers, but this dual lane isn't really strong at all. The Beastmaster plus Mirana one, there's no setup for the arrow, so all he's doing is playing conventional support here, and maybe he can land some arrows once in a while, but now here's the pressure on Moo again.
Just a little bit. Just thinking in terms of, the IO wanting to be able to, There we go. So not the strongest lane, but if you can line up the arrow, it works out just fine here.
Yeah, Arteezy got a little aggressive there to beat on Moo, but they kind of just fought him back towards the tower, and then Zephyrk happens to land the arrow. So really nicely done there. Arteezy a little bit overconfident perhaps with the regen coming out of IO, and IO tried to save him, but it was just too much damage.
And they ping out that they've dropped some vision over here on the side. Zephyrk just trying to mess around a little bit. Turn back around, though they realize, all right, there's no one here to babysit Moo, so maybe we can get ourselves a retaliation kill. The slow, though, coming out from Husky will ensure that Moo stays alive. He's hiding over into the tree line. They'll turn back around, and that's a kill on crit.
It was a little scary for Moo.
I mean, they basically went on crit at the same time that Arteezy was speeding up on Moo, but they didn't land the frostbite into arrow. Crit ends up staying alive, and that's why Moo is in so much trouble there, because then they get the collapse with no spells up. But with Gunnar rotating, it secures the kill, and now the tower pressure that offsets what Puck would have accomplished, right? Puck would have counter-pushed this. Well, Gunnar gets a successful rotation and some tower damage in while forcing Glut. Pretty nice rotation.
Definitely efficient, and you want to put that pressure down over on that safe lane area. Chaos Knight, he's gotten, better over time. He used to be very difficult to kind of farm up using this here if he fell too far back, but
middle tower is under attack.
Still is a little bit vulnerable.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Great push there. And the rotation lined up with the catapult too, so they just got an absolutely insane amount of damage. His Dragonite ultimate's still going, by the way. Great rotation that opens up the bot lane, and now Beastmaster can play whatever game he wants.
Well, Nightfall's found himself a Monkey King. He cuts down the tree. Abed's here. They're looking to make a murder happen, and they'll find it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Arcane too. So a little bit of mana for his teammates. So Nightfall basically has unlocked his game at this point. Despite Monkey King having a little bit more net worth, the only tough thing is that the catapult's already dead, so they won't also get the tower with this. So maybe they can TP back up here.
A couple heroes and
kill or limit Timber. But we'll see.
I feel like whenever Nightfall has a really good laning stage, things go a lot easier for EG.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He pretty much always has a good laning stage, though.
Because he tends to be a little bit more like on the greedier side of things. And we are seeing a trend in the greedier off-laners, right? We've been seeing things with Lamar especially. But I feel like if his lane does not go as well, EG really struggles to get back online.
That's true.
That's true. I don't know too many cases where Nightfall has a rough laning stage, so I know they had a disappointing performance at the major, but keep in mind that they did equally as well in the group stages. Like Beast Coast just qualified and then played amazing afterwards. Like EG was close to winning a lot of their games. Is the point that I'm trying to make. So they still did well in their DPC regions, and so far off to a good start here. So I think it'll be fine, especially with their roster swap. I think it'll make things a little bit safer for sure.
Yeah, definitely interested to see what Fly can do with this team. I know in a lot of the interviews they talked about saying, it seemed like they had a little bit of a lack of a strong leadership voice prior to this. So Fly definitely fits the bill on that.
I can see that.
I know there were some cases where OG in the past said that Jerks was a little bit of a quiet player. I remember there was the TI finals where he got very vocal and they talked about it. I believe it was a game he played Rubik. So I assume it was one of those cases where he was playing his game, but it didn't quite mesh with everybody else's. And as a result, they just made less things happen typically throughout a game, and it meant less synergy. And that's just not something you can put up with these days. While still winning games.
It's definitely hard, especially in the NA region, right? I think that's also been a complaint that we've heard from a lot of different players, is that we just don't have enough captains in the NA region. So
Radiant's middle tower
it sometimes matters, yeah. So.
Yep. A lot of very talented players, but sometimes you just need that extra component to unlock them completely.
Well, game's pretty
close right now. Nouns are keeping it even on net worth.
A lot of jungling
coming in. Gunnar did use his Elder Dragon form to jungle previously, but he got an Arcane Rune with it, so completely fine. And he's still playing top in case they do want to get an option on killing Nightfall here. He gets a little too aggressive.
But he's got a nice ward.
That's going to help spot when these rotations come in.
Right down the tree, though. Hold up a little bit of a power shot. It's just a bit of harass.
They're gonna definitely
go for D wards now because of that. He's definitely saw Monkey can jump over.
As a result of that cut
down. They're checking for the first one.
See if they get it.
We'll see if they get it.
Ward snipe would be a big
deal. Ward snipe would be a big deal because that means rotating on Nightfall will be more likely later.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Seeing a little bit of a jump over here onto the puck, but they need more lockdown, and with Fly being there to be able to just heal him back. Not sure they're gonna be able to do enough. Move also joining in, has his little Pinecone Warrior, but
that's a pretty good one.
That's a pretty good one to take early on, actually.
Still decent body,
has good magic resistance and everything. And he can farm as well and push.
Trying to put a little bit of pressure here over on the mid tower area, but it's just making a lot of space here for Arteezy. He's able to farm up his jungle relatively unbothered, and that feels good if you're a Chaos Knight.
It does,
especially because the matchups against them are not that incredible. They do have some AoE later, obviously, with Monkey King, his ulti or his stun. They have some other ways to deal with him a bit, but the fact that he doesn't have the most hard counters means that the game should be okay. So far, it's definitely just been Nightfall being as aggressive as he wants to be. He's done a great job.
He's super tanky, he has that Hood of Defiance, he's got the IO to back him up. It's pretty difficult to do too much damage to him without dedicating, several heroes. And I think that's something that's been interesting too. The guys have been talking about is like when you get to a certain point when it takes, 4 heroes to take down, one of the enemies, is it even worth it at that point?
Only if it's an easy rotation. Right. If he's near you and everybody can move,
1,000 units get
the kill, go back to where you're doing, then it's great. But if he's playing reasonably okay or he has a ward anywhere, yeah, good luck.
And speaking of the wards,
they still haven't gotten that observer ward from before here.
Just seems like both
teams are just dodging each other a bit while still getting their farm. Obviously, Nightfall is being very aggressive and looking at enemy heroes and trying to get them to react to him.
But he's just doing this
as speed creation. He wants his opponents to try to go for a kill on him because he knows he's so difficult to kill right now.
And Gunner's
just trying to finish Blink.
Amarana here in the top lane. They'll even use the Dream Coil just to make sure that they get the kill. Over in the mid lane, though, Wukong's command getting dropped. They want Nightfall, and this time they will take him out.
It only took 8 abilities.
Who cares?
Started with
Dragon
Tail stun, CM abilities, then Beastmaster followed up, and Costabile TP'd into the tower to ult. That's how they were able to get him. During those stun duration, Monkey comes in with his javelin, and in his ultimate, he's able to deal with the brunt of the damage in that team fight.
Like I said, they needed 4 heroes to take out Timber, but when he presents himself like that, it's an easy jump, like you were saying. It's opportunistic.
So nice kill there. And then Monkey King now top net worth, very close to his Maelstrom, so he's gonna have lots of good impact with his ultimate.
I think the Wind Ranger
still looking fine in the meta for sure. If you have some solutions against her, it can be a little bit harder to play the hero. And because there are a lot of chain stuns, you could see that as a weakness to Wind Ranger. She gets chain stunned, she eventually gets bursted or killed.
But in the same vein, if you have to use stuns to support Ranger,
Rune Ranger doesn't feel great either. Here's that fight once again. They used everything.
They even had to bring, like I said, they had to bring in the centaur. They had to bring another man. Half man, I guess, technically, because the centaur, I don't know, part horse, part man, it's whatever. But yeah, it took a lot. But it does open up, this mid area. And they'll be able to try to apply a little bit more pressure. But you can see over here on the side, you've got Crit and you've got Abed. They're swinging around the Roche pit. They could try to get a pick off if somebody veers off to do some warding or whatnot.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Abed's having a solid game so far, 2-0 and 0. Working towards Witchblade, about 600 gold away. Once he gets that, then his single target blocker damage is going to be a lot more impressive. But for now, the only really easy people for him to kill are Crystal Maiden, really. He can, for everybody else, he has to combo with an ally. So this is one of the weaknesses of Puck, certainly at this phase of the game.
Now, they are smoked up on the side of EG. And they know that they have people over here on the side. So it appears that they're going to set up, see who wanders into their hands. It is, of course, Moo. Gonna show himself first. Arteezy going forward with that pull back. The stomp off. They've got the dust, and they need a little bit more damage, though. Not gonna be able to quite find his gunner. Joining back in, sees the opening over onto Io. Do some of that fire, and they'll take out Fly, and they'll follow up, and this is not looking great for EG here. I don't think they were expecting this, because they'll end up losing Crit.
Really good TP
by Arteezy, though. He ends up staying alive.
Yeah, he almost ends up
looking really dangerous.
Yeah, the Mirana gets
the ulti off. That gives Gunner in melee position. Gets the follow up, and then Io went out. He was screwed there. He was screwed there. I was going to land on him no matter what there.
Nice reaction
there by the Nouns.
Little stun.
Shackle does not land, unfortunately. A little bit delayed there by Crit, but you don't really know how long the Chaos Bolt's going to last, so he just underestimated a little bit. Great breathe fire hitting 3 heroes too. That was really nice. Damage maximization, but Arteezy realizing he needed to teleport. That was really nicely played.
Was it like 100 HP or something?
And, and the Centaur stun almost got him
too. It was very, very close.
But they got Blink
on Gunner now, so the team fights are going to be even easier. And that is why they're going for a smoke. They're only 400 gold away from Spirit Vessel on Mirana as well. So
it's all going to be
Blink stuns, arrows with CM damage fall.
Maybe Freezing Field's
actually a big deal this game, because that is one way to do damage. They just got to get him in melee range or close to range after he gets that first stun.
Yeah, the timing seems to be pretty good. That was a big thing I know you mentioned earlier, making sure that Mirana gets that early vessel, puts it appropriately on the right heroes, especially the Io and the Timber, and just try to slow them down a little bit.
It's one of the best
damage items, certainly, from what a support can buy.
Dagon,
I don't think that item has ever been meta outside of a Pugna. Buy Spirit Vessel, stops their healing, deals damage. You can use it to heal your allies just who if you want. It's just so multi-purpose in comparison.
So good against these heroes.
Timber is very close to his Yule.
Playing
around that Dispel is going to be one option that EG can go for.
As long as he's
the front liner.
He's very close.
And he's very close to it.
It was pretty funny earlier during the Western European DPC. I remember Sheaves was watching a game. She's like, why hasn't anybody bought a Spirit Vessel? If this was my pub, everyone would be so angry. In this case, though, we've got Spirit Vessel getting prepared for both sides. So they are prepared here in NA.
Yeah,
they know what's good.
Yeah, some games it just kind of depends, right? Some games they want to get that Wraith pack, but other games it's Spirit Vessel because they identify what they need a little bit more. But it's sometimes it's just a plan around the team fights that they think they have advantage, and they're like, okay, maybe we need Wraith pack. That'll do more. And you can only choose like 1 or 2 items sometimes, and maybe you make the wrong mistake or buy the wrong item. But teams just doing their best, making their best decisions. Spirit Vessel will get nerfed. Don't forget about that either.
True. Blink forward over onto Nightfall. Freezing Field gets used. Fly trying to do the best he can to keep him alive. So the Yule's coming into play, followed up with a Dream Coil. Good roar though coming out. We'll slow them down, buy them a bit more time. They drop the Wukong Smith. They still have not managed to kill Nightfall though. He's still alive, although he's still ticking. And over on the side, Abed is going to be able to make it out time. No, he is going to get clicked down as they're chasing. Is Gunner have that blink up? No, it was close. Sit back up again if he decides he wants to go for the dive. He's looking to see who he can grab, but will find himself crit. Follow up with a nice arrow from Z-Freak and some wild axes. It's going to be Husky who gets the final hit.
That was really nice fight by the Nouns there. RTC did a great attempt there to block the arrow with his illusion. Barely missed it, but ultimately Timber saw lives like they looked like they're able to get out, but then supposed to be like catches the puck with his ultimate and his stun, and then they frostbite him afterwards. While Puck is okay against Roots these days because you can still phase shift against it, he's still relatively low level, so he was not able to get out of there afterwards. And that kill opens the map up big time for Nouns. That was Chaos Knight's ultimate. They get another kill on the map plus the Wind Ranger. So they're just doing a great job by utilizing all these stuns, and they're constant fighting due to the CM aura.
Big smoke coming out now from the side of Evil Geniuses. Don't have their Timber Saw here, but they're on the hunt and making their way towards this mid-tower area.
And the 17-minute
mark happens, and the first drop they get is the Philly Stone for Crystal Maiden. That's kind of a big deal.
Finding the Marana. Like this is going to be their sacrifice, so don't have to worry about Z-Freak as they put the pressure on the tower. Use the fortification though, coming out from the side of Nouns, and they have their own smoke going on here.
Yeah, they're coming to defend this. They got shard on Dragon. They've got a good damage.
They're swinging around pretty wide here. They can get the jump. Gunner, pop the dragon form, looking for the opening. Manages to land over on the Fly, but he's gonna need some help as they draw right back in. Good roar again, coming out from Moo. Fly will fall. They'll find Artesia. They'll kill Nightfall and Abed. Look at the way that Nouns just approached that fight. My God, Crit is left over here on the side. This monkey is not gonna let him get out though. The hop forward here from Z-Freak, and that's a team wipe on Evil Geniuses.
I can't wait to click the fight
recap because I feel like this was CM multi.
It wasn't that much damage.
Decent damage, 1200.
I mean, but it was just a lot of AoE from the Nouns lineup, and it caught everybody on EG. It was like the axes come through, the dragon fire. Look at that, so much damage coming out from Gunner there. And then the whole fight, and then CM multi comes out. That's gonna be lowering their attack and their movement speed They just all die. Great disable and tons of AoE damage from the Nouns side.
You just hear all those explosions during the replay there of the Crystal Maiden multi, among other things. But
I feel like it was
tons of AoE, and I feel like what Nouns is doing really well is they are initiating fight. He's with Gunner. He's finding the disables that was set up by the Hawk by Moo, by the way, that spotted the IO. And then they're turning this into Monkey King having really good ultimates and initiations. It's so important for this hero to scale well, and that's why his net worth is so high, because he's able to follow up on these disables to add more damage to the fight and keep his net worth growing, so he can actually be a decent competitive hero against the Chaos Knight. And that's what they're aiming to do.
Yeah, they're smoked up over on the side of Nouns, but one of the things I'm really loving is the way that they're moving around the map, right? Because right before that fight, you had Moo, you had Husky. They were making a wide sweep around, and of course, you know, Gunner, he jumps in with his face. It looks very scary for half a second, like he's not going to be able to do anything there because he does get dragged back by the reality rift. But then Moo, just because they did this wide sweep, is able to land a great roar. In fact, here we go again. The jump forward over onto Nightfall. They drop the fireball. Fuels will come into play. Wait patiently to get a nice stomp with the frostbite, followed with the Crystal Maiden ulti.
They got him.
They get him. And this IO Fly is going to be coming back to a world of hurt.
And they're approaching these ganks so well. I mean, it's a blink from Dragonite. But at the same time, they're running in the Centaur to anticipate the stun follow-up. And he also is very careful. He did not waste that early. The Eels comes up, that guarantees the follow-up stun. Everybody gets the lane of the damage afterwards. So really nicely executed there by Moo. This is a hero that he's been famous on ever since he had his amazing performance at TI6, getting second place. This is one of his star heroes, certainly. And he's really shown it here.
Crit's got to be very careful. You can see the way that they're moving towards this mid-tower on the side of Nouns. Start with the fireball, and they have the creeps to tank a bit. You know, they have that extra lockdown if needed.
Radiant structures.
Did you see what Moo bought? He bought Aghanim Scepter as the second item.
Oh boy.
Very cool.
He wanted more. They needed more damage. That was a fact, right? Rather than go like Aura stuff, he's like, screw it. I'm gonna buy Ags. And I'm gonna throw way more Axes. It's more AoE. It does amplifying damage, which is gonna work great against CK illusions. Illusions typically do bad against AoEs in that sense. He's gonna better be able to deal with these CK illusions. And if CK illusions are dead, Chaos Knight doesn't really feel that scary in comparison. They clearly have the solutions against Timber as well.
They're just moving extremely well as a team.
Even bind a Veil and Crystal Maiden. They're just trying to amplify their damage. Just roll over EG right now. Even pulling the mid wave, they want to threaten high ground with this Aegis that they have.
You can see that Abed is just trying to, you know, do a little bit of split pushing, try to make someone respond, back off, get some of that heat off at the towers. And do have one teleport that goes back. Not someone that he can really deal with super well, but he's achieved his purpose and he's going to rejoin the rest of the team.
Yeah, they're still doing a really good job playing aggressive on the map. They basically haven't left this area in quite a while.
Haste.
They still have that Aegis for quite a while, so it's very hard for them to get in here. EG has taken up residency in their triangle area. They want to try to protect Arteezy, make sure he can keep farming in Abed. He's the only one really on the team who's going to be able to do this, because if they do send over Nightfall, they do have the options of being able to, you know, disable him. Puck has a much better chance and able to try to push out the waves, but just have to be careful.
That's the one good thing. For Abed is that it takes at least 2 heroes to kill him right now, with the exception of Monkey King channeling an ulti over him and then stunning. That's like the only way that he dies to a solo hero right now. He's relatively safe to do this annoying split push stuff, because he knows it's going to take Zoomers, or sorry, 4 nouns. How many nouns are there, Moxie? How many nouns are there, Moxie?
There's, I mean, they're pronouns, they're names. They're doing a lot of verbs.
Does Y count as a noun? I can't remember. There are 5 nouns. A-E-I-O.
Those aren't nouns. Those are vowels.
Vowels. I'm way up. Other word things.
Yes. We'll have a grammar lesson later. But yes, the nouns, as they are now known as, formerly the Four Zoomers. They are making some very nice plays and movements. And there it is. There's the item completed that has been in every single person's pub. It feels like the Wraith Pact. Abed, again, continuing just to try his best to cut waves, make some space. But it is getting smaller and smaller here on this map. And they even have an early gem as well that they picked up. I believe Moo's holding on to it. So this vision game is just super good coming out from the side of Nouns.
It is. And interesting that he opted for a Wraith Pact over upgrading Helmet Dominate. You cannot do both without stacking your Vlads. But it kind of makes sense. The upgraded helm, it's not really that incredible these days, frankly. It makes your creep better by a bit, and you get an ancient. But most ancient creeps are pretty passable. He'd rather play around with this like Centaur instead. It has a lot more offensive viability than a slightly better defensive aura. So I think this is a cool choice. They missed their grab near the Tri-Camp earlier, but they still have great map control, and they're really showing the value of their lineup right now.
They realize something's up. Gunner, smoke will break.
Hard to go in there. Hawk spots the ward, but they don't see if there's heroes up there or not.
Abed just hiding right around this tree area. Bit difficult to get his hands on, but they'll poke a little bit over here at Arteezy. Gonna try to go and pull him out of here. Can they? No. Fly is left all by him's lonesome, and Nightfall trying to move over into the base. Not gonna be able to quite do it. This is looking scary now for Fly. They have so much damage. Even that mech cannot save him. So the Centaur will tank a little bit of that tower. Nouns is just taking care of business.
They're doing really well. Even if they didn't kill Arteezy there, Kush would be like catches the IO on the back stun, so interrupts his ability to relocate anyway. So next fight that happens, no reload either. Abed's still doing the same thing, split pushing, trying to get something done on the map, but Nouns continues accelerating it.
You know what's crazy? And I feel like T-Gov is going to be very excited about this because he likes this hero so much. You like this hero too. Crystal Maiden hasn't died once.
He's been doing really well. He's playing near his allies.
Great. Yeah.
I mean, this really is the value of the hero. She is a tempo hero in a lot of ways. You might not seem like it because you're like, ah, she's vulnerable and slow or whatever. But your purpose is to be there to cast your very low cooldown abilities multiple times in a fight if you can. It just doesn't really happen in a conventional game. And she's not a very good ganker either. So that playstyle doesn't really super very well. By the time anybody gets a single defensive item, her skills feel weaker. But if you keep the tempo up constantly like this, it works really well with her aura as well. So it kind of, this is basically how you should be playing this hero if you can. You want your laning stage to go decently well, and you want to pressure constantly like this.
More pressure being applied here, so push in the mid wave. It's just, the map has gotten so small for Evil Geniuses to get out there, and they need Arteezy to farm. He needs more items. And they just can't find the breathing room. And again, with that early gem too, with having all the vision coming out from the Beastmaster, it's impossible for them to get out. And they'll go for a smoke here, but it's going to be very difficult for them to approach.
It is.
Nouns is playing really well. Like this, they're far overperforming what we expected out of them. Even though EG underperformed at the major, they still did quite well in the last DPC season. The one before that, okay, they had some issues. Maybe they didn't look amazing last one, but a team like Nouns, EG wouldn't have had trouble with them. But they're struggling this game. It's looking really good for Nouns. They do try to get Chaos Knight on the map a little bit to split push here, but Nouns also moves over and catches that wave, so now they don't feel safe hitting it.
Cut down the tree over on Costably. Follow up. There's Crystal Maiden nearby, but Crystal Maiden can only do so much, so they'll end up losing that. And the Yules will come into play over on Crystal Maiden, interrupting that ultimate, the drag back. She will get killed as Gunner following up. Again, they want this kill on Nightfall. They've got the Vessel Charge on him. He cannot Timber Chain away fast enough as they drop the Dream Coil. And look at the damage. The crit's coming out. They should be able to finish off Moo. Gunner trying to find an opening, trying to put a little bit more damage up with the Shackle over onto the creep. Oh my goodness. Still, he's so tanky. It's difficult to get the kill. So I continue to plink away. Z-Freak looking for the opening, trying to do whatever he can, but he has run out of options. He's run out of teammates. He's got one leap charge left, and he's hoping that he can escape. They can see him up there, and oh no, he's not going anywhere but to the grave.
What an amazing fight for EG, though. They finally find a fight on the map, getting out there with the smoke, and they're able to kill the Monkey King first without using BKB. That was the crucial thing. This power shot nails, and that was all crit. That gives them the damage follow-up with the Spirit Vessel. They get a follow-up stun as well, and they're able to burst him without his BKB. And then at that point, Nouns is basically committed to the fight. They're like, well, we can probably still win this. They clear up the CK illusions really easily. And yeah, they killed the Timber Saw as well, but ultimately, this is where things get a little bit rougher. The Beastmaster used all of his abilities. CK's still alive, and Dragon Knight's doing some damage, but he can't stop everything. And then he just gets hit by like a billion stuns and silences, so he doesn't even get to cast his Fire Blast either. So things got a little bit one-sided at the end, and now still ahead, but only ahead by about 4K.
I wonder how much of that is based off of the fact that they got the jump on Nouns first, right? Because I feel like a lot of the times we're seeing Nouns have that initiation. It's set up quite nicely. They're in the position like they want, because, you know, it felt like a fake one, right? In the mid tower earlier on, where you can see EG, they start to get aggressive, but they have already kind of swooped around, anticipating the sort of movement, and then they solidified that victory. So how much of this? Oh,
you're right. It is You're right. It is all about the initiation.
Here we go. The initiation coming up from Gunner goes for the BKB. Follow up here. Can they finish them off fast enough? Yes, they can. That's going to be a dead Arteezy. They were hoping that they'd be able to teleport him out. Now Fly's left alone. A couple of hits coming out from the side of Nouns. That is one dead ball of light, and the Roshan is now open and available here for Nouns.
And they make it.
I didn't see if Gunner had vision or not, but he jumps in. They stun the CK, and this is one of the weaknesses of the hero. If you can chain stun him, by the time he gets his ultimate off, his illusions might be low, or he's still low himself. That he doesn't necessarily feel comfortable hard committing to a fight. The relocate doesn't save him. They do enough damage, and once again, it's all about initiations in this game. Definitely better for Nouns typically because of how many stuns they have. So great fight for them, especially now that they got a free shark, and they actually put it on Monkey King.
A little surprised.
Yeah, get that little bit of a mischief upgrade.
Yeah, and
longer invulnerability period no longer slows him and disjoints projectiles. So I feel like I don't think I've ever seen a team prioritize this, but Costabile must be happy with it because he wants it. Who else doesn't have one? It's Mirana, CM, or Beastmaster. So I
feel like CM could potentially, you could argue a little bit. I don't think we're gonna see the Mirana one.
If CM already had
BKB, totally agree. But if not for BKB, it's tough because any Yule Scepter, Puck Silence, Shackle from Wind Ranger, Chaos Knight stun, it's just gonna get interrupted right away anyway. So this is maybe just a rare case where it feels worth it for Monkey King.
Oh, they're hoping they can get Puck here. I'll bet he's very, very difficult to get your hands on. They'll throw out a couple spells, throw out a casual arrow, seeing maybe they'll get lucky, but it's so hard to get their hands on this little fairy dragon. This is exactly what Abed needs to do.
It'd have to be Gunner initiating the stun probably to catch him. So this is hurting their net worth a little bit, certainly, but on the bright side, in the meantime, Costabile is still farming at a really high pace. He's got a massive net worth advantage over Arteezy, and Arteezy in a lot of cases is just forced to use his ultimate all the time to farm because that's the only safe way for him to get net worth. So even if the fights do start, it might favor Nouns anyways because CK is what they limited. They might spot crit here.
Yeah, they're definitely hunting. Split up a little bit, but like you said, they find crit thanks to that Moonlight Shadow. There's a couple people still moving around here on the top lane, perhaps hoping to cancel out teleports, but pressure's on now. And they do have a Timber Saw, so they should be able to clean up the creep wave relatively easily, unless they do a little bit of a sidestepping action. Still have that one creep there, and the follow-up here with the BKBs. But it's a little bit scary right now. All right, quickly, still alive. Drag back with Reality Rift. All right, that is the Aegis. They'll jump back in with Gunner, drop the fireball over onto the ground. But there it is on the back lines. They get a nice Dream Coil, and Mirana is stunned. So Z-Freak having to be careful. Abed poking and prodding, trying to find this opening. It's just too difficult though for them to go high ground right here, right now, especially after losing the.
He accidentally axed on Coast to be like who when he's on trees.
So if EG was chasing in that exact moment, it would have been really bad for now. But you're exactly right. It was really difficult for them to kill Timber Saw. They forced to fight when they know Nouns was still spread out, so that was a good opportunity to go for that.
And EG realizing that they have an opening right now. If you use some of those bigger ultimates, they're gonna go in for a full invasion. And they find themselves Husky, who just absolutely pops. Nightfall, seeing if he can catch anyone here, but they've already just vacated the premises.
Yep,
You still have Mo hiding in the tree line. They might know he's here. In fact, they're hunting. Yeah, they find him. They absolutely find this Beastmaster. Can even get the shackle. And that's another kill here for Arcteezy.
Yeah, they spot him with this lane ward that they placed earlier in the top lane. So EG still finding ways back into this game, doing a great job trying to exploit the lack of BKBs that Nouns have and kind of rely on, to be honest. If they don't have BKBs, it's a lot more straightforward for EG to get these pickoffs with CK and Windranger and other heroes.
We get the Aghanim Scepter completed for Dragon Knight, so more items coming out. Looks like Timbersaw is working on his own BKB, which seems pretty important when you consider the lockdown. Again, you still have to be careful because of Moo with that roar. That could be something that really slows down your momentum in these fights, but definitely feels, again, whoever gets the initiation on who here comes out on top.
Yeah, the Roar is definitely very solid, but they do have a Lotus on Timber though, so if they get that on the guy that's getting chained on, they can offset things a bit. But now with that Ags on Dragon Knight, more magic resistance for him, free pathing as well, it'll be easier for him to maybe spot some of those supports on the back line. Team's also very close to BKB, so casting her ultimate is gonna feel a lot safer as the fight continues. And other than that, also an Ags on Monkey King too, so he's got lots of clones and even more damage.
You can see that Crit's trying to get any sort of information he can to spot out Moo and Gunner. Seeing multiple heroes here. Gunner pops dragon form. Let's search to see what he can find.
Just does the safe thing. To take the cliff because they were scared to move into this area. EG has vision, so he's super survivable at this point. Very hard for him to be killed. The only guy that's a major damage issue maybe is the Timbersaw with the pure damage. But if it's magical or physical, Dragon Knight is very survivable, especially against the CK. Normally is physical damage and minus armor. But since his net worth isn't that massive, Dragon Knight is definitely the safest guy to go do these movements. So now it's definitely playing more of a regular Dota game at this point. They've lost enough heroes that they can't just like try to cheese out an early Rax. But it's still very much about initiation. Who gets to jump first? And a lot of the time that's going to come from map movement. That's why once again Abed is pushing constantly. He doesn't want to let them feel able to do this like high ground thing. So instead he just pushes towers all the time.
A little bit of mirroring movement here. CRT's has made his way over to the triangle, and Nouns kind of combing through over here. There it is. There's the BKB completed for the Crystal Maiden. So they have the potential for this team fight, and they've made their way towards this bottom area after doing a sweep.
With that was the obvious real CK. Oh, they're gonna get with us.
Okay, all right. Well, they'll find themselves a quick pick. Don't have to worry about crit this time around.
It was a little TP expensive for Nouns to go for this move, but it gave them an opportunity to take a fight that their opponents probably didn't expect, because they knew they dewarded a lot in that area, so they were able to teleport across the map. They're clearly the team that wants to force these fights, right? Because if they get the initiation in these weird places, they've got some nice kills. So once again, you're just gonna go the opposite way in the map. Avoid where Nouns was just playing, get a little bit of opportunity, look for a grab, and then they'll take a fight. And that did cost them Moonlight Shadow as well. That's part of the value, part of the reason they were able to even get that pick off. So not the worst for EG as they retain some more ground.
It's pretty impressive the way that they have been able to regain some of their real estate along the map after Nouns. You know, they had a pretty sizable lead early on and were making sure that they could not leave that base area unless they were moving as 5. But things have shifted a little bit here, so perhaps they can make something happen. Although they do have quite a few creeps here in the base. They might wanna adjust to.
Beastmaster pressuring out the bot lane. Great creep for it. Helping also with Puck is supposed to be doing. Husky in a bad spot though.
Ooh, it pops the BKB. Looking to get the frostbite up over onto Nightfall. Goes for the ultimate, but they're just gonna vacate back here. It's quickly finding himself. Nightfall drops the Wukong's command. He does have the BKB that he's already used. His gunner on the back lines will be able to take down Flea. They'll turn their attention right back in. Abed was poking. Husky is going to pop. So a little bit of a trade-off here. Both the supports falling on both sides, and some big ultimates used in the meanwhile.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake there by Husky to go check for that clipboard without his teammates being so close. Either he didn't expect EG to be up there, or he felt safe to do so. But if that fight started a little differently, like Windranger stunning CM instead without him getting BKB off, maybe it feels a lot harder for Nouns to take that fight. But they regain control of the cliff. They end up killing the ward up there. They still had Gem, I believe, on Gunners. So. And he's transitioning into a Manta style. Curiously.
What do you suppose for that?
I mean, silence removal is okay. He can dodge some stuns, maybe like CK stun. When he makes illusions, I think they can apply a lot of the attributes. I don't think they apply slow, but they'll apply the damage. I don't know, it seems all maybe it works with splash as well. I don't know, maybe there's some super value here that I'm not sure about, but whatever. It's attack speed. That part's not terrible on Dragonite, certainly.
Smoke up play from EG. They're looking to maybe go into this high ground area. It's a little bit scary here, Gunner. They pop the dragon form. They have the Lotus Orb being placed over onto Nightfall. No one seems like they want a hard commit on this. Abed, a lot of vision, just takes down the Hawk, takes down that sentry. Arteezy starts blinking around over here. He's a little bit separated from the rest of the team.
I mean, it's all about rush right now.
Yeah.
25 seconds to go for that, so they're just looking for pickoffs there. If any one hero dies in your advantage, Roach is more or less yours unless your opponents find a great fight. Gonna be aiming for those. Keep these waves pushed out. Play around Roach. They're gonna send a boar into pits. So a little easier for Nouns right now to play around this.
They still have about a 78% win rate. Well, what is it called? The win probability. Yeah.
Roach gets scouted. He does kill one of the boars. So that limits the Noun vision, but Gunner's ready to go in.
Waiting patiently, has some of those illusions to kind of push back here.
He's using it for this is cool. He's using it for vision. They can fly anywhere. They can fly anywhere. Because of his ags, so he just flies them onto cliffs and stuff. Up hills. He's using them just for vision, which is perfect because that's what you need as a Dragonite, right? Spot where they are, then jump stun him. So yeah, maybe it's an expensive damage item that doesn't make him do that much more damage. But look at this. Straight up to the cliff. Hey, there's the enemy heroes.
There's a jump forward again. It's Nightfall. First one to get jumped on. BKBs get popped. Wukongs gets dropped, but able to pull him out here just in the nick of time. That's big ultimate that got used.
They see Puck.
Drop the wind. They should be able to get the kill on Fly here. Wait patiently, and yeah, Io, he's gone. They see Arteezy over here, and he's gonna turn back around, just absolutely obliterates Husky. Disgustingly, he goes, he drops yet another one of these Wukongs. They have a buyback coming out from the Isle. They managed to go and lock down Nightfall. He's gonna try Timber Chain away. They need just a little bit more damage, and there it is. All right, the axe axes will connect, as they'll be able to get rid of the timber. And Husky did buy back during this, so we go right into the pit.
It is a refresher shard, though, no ags, but still decent on the Noun side. A lot of their abilities are very valuable here. Once again, popping the Manta for vision control. He's just trying to catch any EG heroes that are playing in the area. It looks like Nouns doesn't feel that comfortable committing to Roach, though. I guess that is one negative. Abed is scary, but they don't have the best damage, and a lot of it's about Monkey King, really. Maybe they're hoping for one more pickoff. Maybe they should be trying for it, but they don't feel comfortable with just Timbersaw being dead.
I feel like there's a couple ways to kind of snatch that Aegis, though, and they're a little bit nervous, perhaps.
They're almost spotting crit. They'll see him now.
Yeah, they will indeed find him. They've got the Frostbite arrow, and that's the end of crit. So that's another pick-off. If they want, they could potentially try to make something happen with this Roche.
Yeah, they're gonna go
it does feel like they were a little bit shy about it earlier.
So hey, they got their pick-off. No buyback for crit. He's 98 gold short for this. So Roche will fall. Aegis going to Nouns, a refresher shard. All very valuable items here. Lots to say. Shard going to move. I like that, actually. Double BKB for him, double roar.
He's been on point with these roars too. Like, to be quite honest, it's a very, very value for him.
It definitely is really good. At this point, RTZ's damage still is okay, but hasn't really changed that much. He's got a Scotty, so he can offset some heal and some regen, gives him some generic stats. He's gonna have an AC next. Fine items, but not really the kind of thing that you think of when you're like, man, that's really gonna change the game in terms of his damage.
I mean, it's been impressive how long that EG has hung in there, because now, once again, they had a pretty commanding lead early on, and you could see that EG was struggling to get out on the map, but they found their opportunities. Abed playing his hero very, very well, realizing, hey, I have to go, I have to split push. Gunner doing a little bit more reconnaissance over here, does see RTZ, but...
Doing a great job.
But, you know, it's just illusion versus illusions right now.
Looks like they are applying slow actually from the Manta illusion. It's really powerful. Damage per second, and doing all the bonuses. Basically all the bonuses. Really powerful. It's really powerful. You can think of them like boars from Beastmaster. Really, just spread them up and put one on each hero.
Top tower is under attack.
Being pretty patient on the side of Nouns here. Eventually, Gunner walking forward. They'll take down the tower. Easy. Looking forward. It's gonna clear. It is very hard to go high ground against something like a Timber, right? I mean, they have a lot of wave clear, so they have to get the perfect opportunity, it feels.
They had to get a pick off first. Puck Timber and Wind Ranger. A lot of AoE, so they definitely want to go in, but it's just not something that's going to be simple here. Going to cut the creep wave a little bit with this Manta here once again. This really does have that Aegis with refresher orb, so he's got a lot of survivability here.
Gunner.
Dodges.
Yep. Those winds coming in. That's nice start to the lockdown. Here's Costable. He's gonna go drop the Wukongs. Nightfall though is just able to BKB Timber Chain away, but they're putting the damage. Look at all the monkeys everywhere. Oh my god. It's gonna be the fortification being used.
Decent start the Micro one now.
Yeah, they get the silence off. It's a good opening, but again, they have the BKB, so they're turning back around. Drops that just over on the side, and they're gonna just hop away, dodge a little bit of that damage. Abed, though, he's in pretty deep. He's chasing after this Monkey King, but they have to be careful here. The rest of the team can't jump as fast as him.
That was good escape there. Disjoints, and this is why the shards actually kind of good on Monkey King. It mattered there. He not only dodged the damage from the CK stun, but it disjoints, meaning that CK stun just isn't going to hit him in those cases. Normally it would not do damage, but still stun him, so that gets him out of there. When he jumped from the tree, I don't even know if he noticed that he has the shard, to be honest. It's a very rare one, but it worked right there to allow him to disengage without having to use too many resources, so...
And Abed just continues to poke away. Crit was trying to find the opening here. Has to run. They do have the stun. They'll follow it up, though. And that's a lot of crit damage being put out over onto Gunner as Arteezy collects. And Crit's going to buy back, wants to be back in the fight as Abed on the back lines, trying to hold Moon into place, trying to just control him a little bit more. Is leashed up. Studley, it's a big area. Can they get off the stun? Can they get up enough damage to take down Arteezy? Is the question. As the Crystal Maiden also throwing the dance for people. The Bound is connecting. Yes, they'll be able to take down Arteezy. The chase is on after Nightfall. They'll try to get the shackle off. We'll be able to connect. Buyback coming out from Moo. Wants to be right back into this fight. They want Abed. He has been a thorn in their side, but they are just not able to find that kill.
Yeah, Gunner got pretty wrecked there for once. It's like the only time all game that we've seen Arteezy able to ulti and do full damage to somebody without someone else mitigating it. Even if it's a Crystal Nova that lowers attack speed by 75, it's a big deal. And we finally saw Arteezy get to do damage. But ultimately, it was about supposed to be like cleaning up the fight when Arteezy picked his second target, Moo. His ulti was off, and he landed 2 boundless strikes on the Chaos Knight to clean up his illusions, and that's what allowed them to finally kill the Chaos Knight. They just had 29 seconds left, by the way, and ultimately Nouns didn't want to fight right there. But they were able to kill Windranger, I believe. Yeah, they did kill her in that fight. It was a good grab. By Gunner, but him jumping that far forward meant that he was far away from the rest of his teammates, and he wasn't able to stay alive when he got gone on.
Yeah, the absolute chaos in this fight with the way that it was split up, making it difficult to decide who are you focusing on and where are you going. And again, when you have something like a puck, very difficult to get your hands on. He's constantly going to be dodging in and out of the fight, so you have to be very coordinated and able to lock him down.
Yeah, they've done a good job. Abed's done a great job avoiding all this trouble. But still difficult for EG to take fights, but they do have some tools. Windranger landing stuns, CK getting kills. But this is that ultra late game where if CK's net worth isn't super high, he does struggle a lot. It's all about his illusions. If his illusions get killed, then his damage output drops by like 4.
This is so hard here for the side of Nouns because they want to get their hands on Abed. They've even used the Moonlight Shadow multiple times now, but he has the gem that belonged to Husky, and he's just been able to take down a lot of vision. He's been able to get the jump and see people before they jump on him. He's doing a great job this game.
Now let's see him has shard though, and the trickster cloak. He's got a lot of ways to protect himself. That'd be another great solution against the CK illusions. They just have so many of them. So many AoEs. They have AoE, Dragon Tail stun, Fireball, Breathe Fire. He got the Breathe Fire damage reduction as well. CK typically buys a lot of strength items. They have so many good solutions against CK in this match, actually.
16k net worth lead at 48 minutes in. It's a bit of a longer game here.
Hex on Morana as well. I just saw that one. Any good item?
Yeah, they've got good solutions for sure. Dasher completed now for the Monkey King. And a smoke play coming out from EG. It's like they're going to try to venture out.
A Hex on Nightfall as well as the other one. Lots of disables on both sides. Once again, the jump is the important thing. Gunner gonna get some vision here with his dragons. In fact, look at the damage he's dealing to these towers. 30 damage per second from the corrosive breath. This is like some cheese shit.
Oh, they look at it, they scan.
Great way.
They know that they're smoked and hiding over here, Gunner. Going forward, can't quite find the opening just yet. You have the sentry. Look at all the sentries they placed down. And they're going to try to clean through here. It's the Manta coming into play. So we'll fly some of that slow like we talked about. Get some more vision. Now successfully dodging back and forth here. Evil Genius is trying to find that opening. Trying to perhaps take them by surprise, but they're pretty prepared over on the high ground.
I mean, Gunner's owning, right? He makes them go back a little bit to defend their towers, and then he does miss exactly where they are when they're smoked. When he gets counter-initiated on, he Manta dodges the shackle shot too. So if he gets stunned there, maybe a fight happens. Maybe EG commits. Doesn't happen. CK illusions are basically done.
This has to be such an annoying game to play if you're Evil Geniuses right now, just because you constantly have, you know, the Dragonite illusions just wailing away on your buildings. You have to go back and deal with them, and you never know when they're going to pop out.
It seems like they always do corrosive breath damage. That's the 30 damage per second to buildings. I don't know if that's all the time, if it's a bug, or if it's just like lasting when the ulti ends, they transform back to melee or something. But that part has been really effective with his illusions here. So use them for vision, pushing out creep wave a little bit. That's the real Arteezy. They see enemy heroes.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And they continue to send those illusions, though. Go hit the towers.
Those ones are backdoor, although it seems that the poison damage might go
opening over onto Arteezy. Gleipnir gets placed, and they have the Lotus. Fly getting into position, has the mech going to try to keep him alive. He's going to try to reload him out. Should be able to. As they go and they use the Crystal Maiden ulti, you can see the power of that with the BKB, with the shard. But, oh, the Blink 4 coming out from Gunnar. Are they going to be able to finish off Crit? Yes, they are. They'll find it. As now the pressure's on, they'll finish off this tower. Oh, they stun up the IO. This is not looking good here for Fly, as he's the next one to fall. That's a big radius being dropped with this Wukong stuff. He still has a refresher shard, he has a refresher orb. He is not done yet. If they come anywhere near, he's ready. Okay, Abed again poking through. Now they'll turn back around. That Gleipnir coming into play again. A good roar over onto Nightfall. Does manage to stun Arteezy. They'll get the kill. And they'll follow up another kill on Nightfall. Arteezy buying back. Wants to be a part. They don't want to lose all these buildings, but they've already lost them as they make their way over to this top area. They want the tower. They've been so patient on the side of Nouns. They don't have Nightfall to hold them off. They don't have the Isle. They don't have the Wind Ranger. Nouns, they've been so patient. Oh no, Arteezy. He's stunned Gunnar. He had his number here. The gas bolt does get tossed out. He's gonna have to go and teleport away. This is not looking good now for Evil Geniuses as they'll turn their attention over to those tier 4s. Abed again continuing to poke. They do have that refresher, the BKB over Costably. He's gonna just pop it again, make his way over to these racks. And they're gonna finish cleaning up.
That's decent. Abed's doing the best he can in the circumstances here. He kept them far away from Arteezy when Gunnar caught him there. He forced him to refresh. Maybe kills?
Yes, it's, I mean, he's BKB'd. It's all right. They do manage to find the kill here. Sweet. Finding himself the IO will be able to finish off Fly. The route over into place for Arteezy, but Nouns has had enough. They're satisfied with this. They've gotten the mega creeps. And they're just gonna walk away. There's a Roche up. There is a double damage rune outside of the pit. Everything is turning up perfect here for the side of Nouns.
Yeah, this is a good time to go Roche for sure. I mean, they basically burned all of their cooldowns, right? But it was too scary to play in the enemy base. I mean, they almost caught Monkey King in that mid lane with the fast stun, but he pressed BKB in time. That basically opened things up. Now going down. Did you get anything? Did you get anything? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Nothing. He was trying though. You saw him jump in there. Crit also throwing out those winds. Sees himself a husky, but no, he'll back off.
They give the Ags to CM. He hasn't eaten yet. Okay, he has now. Now we're gonna have frostbites going out. This is a position 5-0, by the way. But it's genuinely pretty normal for CM to get a lot of net worth because you have all this free nuke, right? You have tons of ability to get gold and mana. So you kind of just spend it on all these nice items.
It's been impactful.
And it's been impactful the last fight. Saw BKB and running in, and Puck has to run for the hills. Now it's even scarier because now there's going to be sort of an unexpected route coming out. That could lead to him being caught. But ultimately, as a whole, Costabile playing excellent this game, 16-2-9. I think the space creation that I've seen from Gunnar this game is like really impactful. He's done a great job. Man's bought an Octarine core, so some bunch of weird items. But hey, it's the right thing for the game.
It's definitely looking good. I'm getting thrown off because for years I asked. It's pronounced Costabile, apparently. I've asked him for years. Yeah, because I called him Costabile, which we've gotten used to. And now I'm like trying to make that adjustment now.
It is hard.
And my brain keeps like, yeah, because after you've heard
didn't he say it like Costabile or something really weird? Wasn't it like that?
I don't remember. I wrote it down because he just did that interview. Costabile. Costabile? No, that doesn't sound right either.
I'm gonna say Costabile.
Okay.
It's in my brain.
We will get it right eventually. I've been waiting forever. That and there's another South American player, Sledin. I'm not sure if that's how you technically pronounce it. I've always asked them and they're like, just say it however.
No, that's not the answer I wanted.
No, just give me the actual pronunciation. But yeah, if anyone was wondering why it sounded a bit wacky, that's why. Deny the arcane rune over here, just in case. And honestly, Nouns are sitting very pretty right now. They just have to find that opportunity, get that initiation, and finish up the game. 34k net worth lead.
It's looking good
for him. And they got Penta-Edge Sword on Monkey King as well. He's eating his own ag. He's on cooldown with his refresher shard, by the way, because they just have so many of them.
That is actually pretty wild when you look how kitted out the side of Nouns is rolling at this time.
puck utilizing Dagon actually as a late game item device. Great, but also one-shots these Dragonite illusions that have been quite annoying, pretty sad in a lot of ways. That your mid puck has to buy a Dagon to counter a Dragonite Manta. Didn't think I would ever say that, but it legitimately matters. It's a free ward. It's a free ward when it gets on the cliff, and here they come.
Here they come, yeah. See Freak just leaping forward here, trying to find this opening.
Under attack.
Clean up the replays. Yeah, all right. Nightfall here. Going to put out the damage as they're just running through over. Yeah, they just killed Stubbly. He's going to have to buy back the IO, though, not looking so good. Flea also buying Flybear, also buying back. They'll go right back in. RTZ will fall. There's no buyback on the CK, and the damage is being dealt here to these towers. They will buy back on more heroes, though. See if they can push them out. Again, still have that Aegis online.
Got BKB too.
Abed doing everything he can, but they actually go and they're just going to finish off over on the towers. Their eyes are on the prize. They want this Ancient. They want this victory. It's looking like Nouns. They'll be able to do it. And they'll secure themselves game number 1 against Evil Geniuses.
Well, that's gotta feel good. Picked some slightly normal heroes for them. Maybe Beastmaster was the ultimate crux that opened things up in a huge way, but as a whole, everybody announced they've played so well. This is a big improvement from the last season, maybe coming off the win, the BTS Pro Series or what, and maybe EG a little bit rusty still. I just feel like Nouns played extremely well. That's the story of the game.
Yeah, they looked like they were moving together very well. Like you said, they had good synergy. They understood what they were doing, did a little bit different things with their heroes, which I think maybe EG might not have been necessarily prepared for. But again, EG, you know, they're starting up again. They got Flyback. They've probably got to work out some kinks. So, you know, it is game number 1. Nouns looking very, very dominant here. And I'm
So if it works, there's no need to change it.
The key thing I think for Nouns and the Beastmaster is the fact that they are playing the Beastmaster with the new style, which is you go for casual Hammer Dominator, you go for the axes in lane. He then went for the Aghanims to go be even more aggressive, reduce that cooldown, join your team a lot more, want to take the fight rather than pressuring objectives. You're pressuring just the presence in fights, and that alone was really fun to see. It also allows him to scale into the game because he's constantly kind of picking off and just, yeah, I just like this style of Beastmaster.
And just by nature of that, like playing for kills and things like that with your team does open up for objectives, so you still have that advantage that Beastmaster always provides with that aura.
Take out the Leshrac and the Mirana up next. How'd you feel about the mid lane matchup, T? Gunnar on that DK. I know for me, historically, I'm always very sad whenever I don't see Gunnar on like a playmaking hero, but he did work on that DK, I gotta say.
I think he played the DK like he was playing these more unconventional heroes, right? Even like mainly because of his itemization a little bit with the Manta, but yeah, it was DK into Puck. DK should win that most times because you are a DK. You also, in the early game, you at least get to surprise him if the Puck doesn't have Lincolns. And I think the key thing for Gunnar was he found like a couple key kills before Abed never died again in the game, but those key kills unlocked the rest of his team to play with confidence as if the Puck wasn't a problem, right? So having your mid laner find those windows and opportunities and capitalizing on them, that's the key thing. And I guess for Gunnar, he's always been a player where people have looked up to him being like the next mid laner, but he's always kind of faltered a little bit. And I'm hoping that this might be the tour where he has a bit more confidence in his play, can push it, and his whole team pushes with him. Because again, that game one was so refreshing to see from like the NA team versus EG and whatnot. So I really hope that they can continue the consistency.
And they got signed by an org, right? We talked about the importance, like the mental benefit that you get as a player. You don't have to worry about something like a salary anymore. And that really just could be something that elevates their gameplay this tour. I know that this level of sponsorship does not equate to TSM at all, but it's still something.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. Let's look at the old bans. All right, Nouns, you ban Lesh, Puck, and TA.
Yeah, the mid lane pool's getting slim.
It's getting slim, but also, TA respecting that safe lane. TA against the Beastmaster going to do pretty well there. And then Lesh and Puck, they are very tempo setters, where Beastmaster Ench, they want to play from their lanes and pivot into at least being proactive on the map. And you can either deal with proactive heroes by dodging them and forcing the map elsewhere, so you get that perfect 50-50 split, or you run head on. And like his heroes like Lesh and Puck, they can split the map or just run head on. So I actually think they're pretty high value bans.
Are those Twitch socks?
5 seconds remaining.
I do see like a verified logo and the bleeding purple heart. Yeah, those are Twitch socks. RTZ taking advantage of never streaming and advertising Twitch.
That's good. That's good.
Wait, it's a clue. Like we saw on Twitter the other day with White Room with the whole.
Oh my! You think this is an ARG?
We need to analyze the socks. Okay, so look at the pictures, decode the current game time on the reserve ban, and then you'll find out when his next stream is. There we go.
Wait.
Either that
there's something there, T. There's something there.
Maybe.
You're seeing it.
TurboTax went for the long con. Crit making that replacement stream was just step 1 of 20. Oh, that's not amused though.
But yeah, so EJ actually ended up going for Bloodseeker here, and I think that was their second most played carry during the major. Not to say that it had like the greatest results, but it does fit the bill in terms of a hero that can lane versus Beastmaster, of course with the Blood Rat, and an aggressive type of carry that can fit into the snowball outside of the laning stage game plan that they have going on. But I mean, Nouns respond with the Tusk and Tusk Beastmaster has always been a tried and true combination. So
10 seconds remaining.
But that's not what T was owing about.
He played at mid.
Yes, that's what T was owing about, because he saw. Did you see the clip of Gunnar booting the enemy alchemist into the fountain? Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what they do, right?
It actually might be.
Yeah.
It might be the
You see it?
But there's also flex potential for the Hoodwink. You can't forget that either.
That's true. But I feel like Yeah, I'm kind of down to see this Tusk mid, just because you're going to have this Bloodseeker want to run in, you quickly boot him out. You can easily have cheap wave clear with Tusk. Now Beastmaster has it as well. When you have double wave clear, it opens up the hood and the edge to play a bit more active. It's quirky. It could easily fall flat, but we said that again about game one, and they were able to keep up that momentum the entire time and not really falter. So.
And if you play on Shards and Snowball, you don't have to get any points in tag team. You can just play on those two, farm the small camp, farm the wave over and over and over again, basically, and rotate with runes. And you can get like a 14-15 minute agonizing.
Oh yeah, okay. I was about to say that all this hype for the Tusk, he just gets doomed, and then the rest of his team's like, all right, what do we do, boys? You know, what are we gonna? How are we gonna play this fight? And now EG, they've got Chen with Mech Kill, plus ult, the Hand of God. You got Bloodseeker BKB running around. Kunkka also quick BKB by running around. EG's going to be tanky super quick with a lot of lockdown and cheap damage to take fights. They're not really locked into Doom having to need to use Doom.
But also, Kunkka's just a great hero versus like Ancient Beastmaster. He's got the splash damage, he's got the AoE damage from his spells. He also lanes very well versus Tusk. And he's a good means to just kind of catch and set up for these fights early on. So I think Kunkka kind of is a very stable pick that fits the bill for everything that EG we're looking for right now.
Does give Tusk some value though, right? The snowball dodges, you can never really die in lane because you just snowball dodge the X torrent boat, so Kunkka doesn't have level 6 advantage at least.
5 seconds
and you can also help with the Doom, you know, mitigate that a little bit longer. Like, I can see a lot of value with this Tusk being core. You don't get doomed, you're the one enabling and joining the fights after. But yeah, I am leaning to EG once again because I feel like their game one draft looked very easy to execute kind of, but they lacked a little bit more team fight to keep up with the pace of Nouns. Like this game, they've matched that pace now, so it's very even from both lineups and able to, you know, take some of these cheap fights.
Also, I think an important question to ask when you have a core Bloodseeker, or a carry Bloodseeker rather, on your team is, are we getting maximum benefit from Rupture? And we talked about how Tusk can kind of just kick Bloodseeker away if he goes for any kind of commitment, and there are no mobility dependent of the two cores that we see right now. None of them really mind getting ruptured. It's more so the Ent and the Hoodwink who are going to suffer more, and typically you do get the most value out of your Bloodseeker if you're rupturing something like a PA or an Anti-Mage or a Queen of Pain or a Wind Ranger core. But that doesn't really seem to be the case, so it does seem like Bloodseeker, while very effective in terms of the game plan EG have, isn't the best like hero to hero in this game.
Yeah, it may have been more of a preemptive pick, because I know a lot of the heroes that Nouns were picking during their pro series were like the Pangos and the Razors who like to move around a lot, and so perhaps eliminating that possibility was what Evil Geniuses were going for.
But yeah, but Rupture is just a nice added bonus at the end of the day. This hero is just incredibly effective, especially when he gets like his BKB and just gets that shard. It's an insane amount of damage output.
For Nouns right now, like the big three cores kind of feel like the that can stand their ground. So some Medusa that can stand her ground, Terrorblade, but might be a bit awkward pacing, but I think Terrorblade also can do pretty well to stand ground A-click. And then the more quirky approach is the Earth, so you lean heavily into the skirmishing lineup of your team and you just take the fight to your opponent. But
yeah, didn't you
say
that
can at least rebuttal
they played some core Dawnbreaker? She could stand her ground.
I mean, back to you, Tsunami.
Okay, thank you. They take out the Wraith King and the Monkey King, and it is the Medusa.
Well, speaking of standing your ground, this hero is one of the best at doing so. I mean, on paper, Medusa is great here. There isn't really that much burst damage. The thing she fears most, of course, in this game is getting doomed. But there's going to be a team behind her. There's going to be like heals from Mensch. There's going to be potential snowball save, buying time for the Medusa, and of course, like force staffs and whatnot coming out and getting her out of danger. So this hero fits the build nicely. But
you play against EG, you forget they have 2 carries, and then a Razor comes in as last pick. That's exactly what just happened here. Oof.
All right, I want to see who's playing what. Z-Freak is playing the Hoodwink, so it is indeed a Gunner, a mid lane Tusk, and Nightfall is going to take the off lane Razor.
Okay, this is actually hype, right? So EG, they think they countered Nouns with the Razor into the Medusa static link against Medusa stance of ground, you lose your damage by. But then Nouns preemptively in third pick Gunner Tusk, who then will buy the Ags to boot away Nightfall, the primary carry in EG, away from the Medusa, allowing Constabile to actually take the fight. It's a well-rounded draft. It's beautiful stuff. I'm excited to see what happens.
Good summary. Good summary too. I mean, I do think the Ags on Tusker is going to be something to watch, but I think the Razor pick is very threatening for the Medusa. Even on the lane, he can be very oppressive, very hard to lane against. So, yeah, I don't want to lean towards a side of any team because we did that last game. It didn't work out. So
it worked out if you're a Nouns fan, Effie.
Nouns. How about Verb? How about crush?
Yeah,
kill,
that's right.
Win.
Anything other than Nouns. But anyway, I think for EG though, this is the draft from them where they should be able to win their lanes at least and propel themselves into the game. And losing it is off of their own mistakes of we didn't shut down the Medusa outfarmed us, we lost to a Medusa, right? So I think this is more of a statement of what EG is as a team now, basically.
Yeah, and Nouns are going to establish perhaps if they can handle late game dominance or against a established roster like Evil Geniuses. So let's adverb this quickly to our casters, Purge and Moxie.
Man, that was a smooth throw there. My goodness.
I'm still traumatized from using the wrong English terms. I'd really just like to move on from their team. Hope they get a new sponsor.
Vowels, Purge, not nouns. But yeah,
Can we call them Team Glasses? I love their flags actually. It's I don't know if they had their flags correct last time or not, but it's like a dangling glasses.
They did. They're sunglasses. I think they're supposed to be sunglasses. They're real cool dudes on Nouns.
Are those eyeballs in them still?
No, I don't think they're eyeballs.
Part white, part black. Are you sure? I don't know.
I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure that someone on Twitter will probably let us know. But I know T went through this whole grand scheme of like, this is how it's going to go down. There's going to be the Razor. Razor's going to latch on to Medusa, but Gunner's going to kick her away. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, what are you thinking here when we see this draft coming out?
Your atrocity,
that's definitely the most interesting thing is certainly Gunner playing mid-tusk. This is one of his specialty heroes that he likes playing. He plays it regularly. Getting the Ags is certainly very powerful, but is it going to work out if he gets doomed is another problem. I mean, and the other issue is that Nouns, their damage is very focused on basically Medusa. I guess Hoodwink outputs some decent damage as well, so they have some kill potential there. But I feel like in ultra late game fights, all the heroes on EG just look so freaking tanky, and they've got a Shen to back them up too. So that means even more armor and heals. So I don't know. I feel like in a later game fight, EG's gonna look really strong, and if they can't kill the Medusa, then Constabile should be able to turn things in Nouns' favor.
So I guess the question is, how do you ensure that EG stays behind here, right? Because that if you go toe to toe, if both teams are just following on track, yes, Medusa's going to become a problem late game, but then again on the side of Evil Geniuses, they're going to get really tanky and they don't quite have that damage coming out from Nouns. So how do they ensure that they get the upper hand here?
Shutting down Medusa is certainly one really good way. On the Noun side, they want to make sure that they just keep their network semi-comparable. That way, Medusa can be the frontliner to say, okay, you want to X-boat combo me? I don't care. I'm a Medusa. Obviously, you also have to worry about getting doomed potentially before you get off your Stone Gaze, but a lot of that's going to come out on initiation. But Nouns have a really strong early game. Beastmaster worked out really well for them last game. They've got Enchantress to secure this lane for Medusa. That is going to help out a lot as well, and Husky also can frontline a little bit. They kind of need to like poke and stay survivable, and basically allow themselves to survive against EG, so that they can eventually turn fights. That should be how they should play this game.
Are there specific itemizations that you want to see to ensure that they stay very survivable?
It's mostly just about network, making sure Medusa is semi-comparable in survivability, that they have like Vlad's aura coming from Beastmaster to make Constabile a little stronger, and that Husky, if all goes well, he can also get enough items to be survivable. Maybe some force staffs too. That way they can offset some of those static link problems in the mid game that Medusa will run into.
Yeah, that'll be very important that they're able to have that mobility.
Gunner doing great though. 9-1 has got his bottle on the way. Abed going instead for a bracer stack build instead, not too worrying as much about his spells here.
Makes sense, and it's fairly quiet though early on here. Not seeing too much of a kill potential coming out from either of these lanes just yet.
See if Gunnar can get the bottom water rune. That would be pretty nice, actually. So got snowball here, so probably capable. Oh, it's gonna be kind of important. I don't know
they're racing. No, he can't get there in time. They were racing.
Yeah, the snowball. He should have ran a little bit earlier. That would have been really big for him.
Ooh, that was very close here. Top lane does have the salve though, but the pressure is definitely being applied from the side of EG.
Yeah, I do like EG's lanes really. They look really good here for Arteezy at least. It's kind of similar to last game. Just generally they get to be abusive, but with Chen it's even more so. Lots of pressure to zone out Hoodwink, who doesn't really want to trade with these Chen creeps, nor can she. And then Moo's gonna try to harass a little bit Wild Axe, but Bloodseeker, much like Chaos Knight, has really good sustain here.
We have a lot of Zoo going on here, right? Because you've got Moo, he's playing his Beastmaster. You've got, of course, a Chen online, and then you also have the Enchantress. So, seeing a lot of trading of creeps, and I'm sure heavy push strat coming out too.
That's exactly right. And I think it looks a little better for EG in that sense because they've got a little bit better counter push. I guess they have like Wild Axes on Nouns and maybe like the Hoodwink spells. And I guess Ice Shards can be okay, but it might be a little bit difficult for them to counter push anything that EG goes for later on. But we'll see how the Chen and the Enchant matches up. Chen is seen as an inferior hero to Enchantress for the last bit of time, but Chen can work too.
I mean, the lockdown's a little bit light coming out from the side of Evil Geniuses, right? I mean, in both sides, you've got a little bit lighter of the lockdown. You've got the ultimate, obviously, with the Rupture coming out from Bloodseeker, will be able to hold place. X is obviously a fantastic spell. And then eventually, you know, depending on the creep that crit pits up, he can get the War Stomp. You can also get creeps that have lockdown on Chen, but...
That's a good point. Their lockdown is a little bit weak outside of X combo. That could definitely hurt them a little bit, especially against the survivable heroes. Whereas on the Noun side, I think they're relatively happy. Gunner's gonna be great at disabling heroes. They've got Roar follow up. They could also land Hoodwink stuns with Bushwhack. So I think they're gonna be looking a little bit more safe. A lot of it's gonna come down to how fast does he get Ags on Gunner, the Tusk, and can he find opportunities to just yoink some EG hero back into his teammate, or is it gonna be like he gets doomed, X comboed out of position, and they're able to kill him without Medusa responding. These mid-game fights are going to be big. Assuming net worth is close. The laning stage is still very important here. Or Coast to be the head to buy a win late. Try to get away from Razor a little bit faster here.
That is indeed a problem that can occur when you're facing off with Razor. Good old race car Razor, as they used to call him.
He doesn't even have Storm Surge yet, but it's still very important that Dusa doesn't lose her damage. That's going to be a big part of this game, really. How much damage do you lose from a static link as the fight develops?
She's just so slow. That's the one issue about a Medusa, right? It just takes way too long. Like, you know, a lot of times you'll even see her getting pinballed around in the fights with the Force Staff. And again, this is what you see happen. They're going to try to just slow down the Razor, break the link, turn it back around to steal a little bit of the damage. And they have the enchant, so they'll put out a little bit of harass over onto Nightfall. Husky does have to be careful though. He might, all right, Nightfall outplaying Husky here with that plasma field. It's gonna be the first blood.
It was right that they're pressuring Nightfall because he doesn't have any regen here, so getting him low meant that he would be zoned from the lane for a bit, but Husky just overestimating his survivability. He had some good heal going, but Razor just had a lot of damage to him still, so when he finally turned, it was easy kill.
Husky's back in the lane though, and they did manage to go and, you know, like you said, apply the pressure. Try to make it so that way he feels a little bit less comfortable approaching the lane until he gets more of that regen. But I do have a rotation here in the mid lane. Coming out from Chen, but just gonna push Gunner back just a little bit.
Hasn't been a super easy lane for Gunner because he's gonna constantly get Tidebringer smashed. Oh wow. Landed his full combo to get Arcane Rune.
He wanted that rune.
Was a little surprising. I mean, this is going to lead to a tower pressure. That part's pretty good.
Come on, you can see the rotation coming out here. The X marks spot over on the Husky. Crit's also in position. That should be a dead dear lady. So there it is. And the pressure continues. Zfreak, he's trying his best to try to push them away, but there's only so much that a level 3 Hoodwink can do right now.
Yeah, they need to kill the catapult, but it still has one power hit left on it, so they'll just tank this up and it's going to get low. Oh, never mind. They'll just stop tanking it for a brief moment. The catapult dies, but they might still be able to get it.
Can probably get Zfreak here. Fly. seeing the hoodwink. They're gonna get the X off, drag right back in, and they'll bonk on the head from crit. Make sure they get the kill.
It's really good for them.
It's really good for them. I mean, Tuskus is okay at pulling creep waves back, but the issue is here is he doesn't really have as many safe places to get last hits now.
Get the net thrown out over onto Abed. He's fairly tanky though again. Gunner is gonna go for that snowball. Doesn't be careful. Fly is here. Another net thrown out. Crit making his way over. Hits over onto Gunner, and that's a dead Tusk. Some body blocks coming out. Poor Husky. He's just trapped in all these creeps and a demon. That's a double kill now for Crit. And is it going to be a triple? Can they get over there fast enough? Now looks like Z-Freak will be able to scurry away through the tree line, although he's going to walk right into Crit. Oh man, all right. This is looking like maybe he will get it. A little bit of burn, 25 hit points. Nah, Z-Freak with the salve. Does have a couple of those stick charges. It's gonna survive.
EG's just owning
these rotations they did on the mid lane, accomplishing the tower kill, and now they're gonna rotate to pressuring safe lane. Medusa's not gonna get a lot of time to hit creeps here. He even has to ulti to get back to his tier 2.
Radiant's bottom tower
really
is
rough.
under attack.
Really rough.
That's feeling a little bit spooky for Nouns.
So they're just
gonna leave their safe lane now as EG continues to pressure. They're just getting so much more value out of this.
There's the rupture. They have the X in place. Torrent everything that they need here for Gunner. He's not gonna be able to get home. That's kill for Arteezy.
Radiant structure.
Maybe they got
a little too cheeky expecting the mid Tusk to work. It's certainly something EG was prepped for. What are we gonna do if he goes for Tuskar? Well, Kunkka works great here. Abed just kind of bullied him in lane. Then they did the rotation with the 5-minute catapult. They get the mid tower, and that just opens the jungle, which not only undercuts what Gunner wants to do, but also undercuts what Medusa wants to do. So
unfortunately for them,
maybe the Tusk works great in late game if their networks are similar, but it doesn't look like that's gonna be the case now. So kind of really opens up Noun's strategy in a big way.
I mean, that's what we were discussing earlier. Although, a little bit of, silver lining. They do manage to get the tower in the top lane. So that will open up the jungle a tiny bit here. But that's what we were saying earlier, though, about the draft is that, this draft coming out from Nouns, it needs to keep up that momentum and the pressure. If they start to fall behind, things start getting very scary because they do have the Medusa as the late game policy, but if the rest of the team is just paper, they're not going to be able to stand toe-to-toe with EG in that later round.
And even if they are standing perfectly positioned and Dusa is the front line, she might still die.
And they know exactly where he is, so they've got the War Stomp, they've got everything they need. One more hit should be able to do the trick, and Crit is just on fire right now. Gunner, gonna try to force him out. Snowball, Walrus Punch, couple more clicks with the shard, just gonna hold in place, and whoop, the axe is coming in hot.
Radiant's bottom
they needed that kill so badly. Finally getting for their first kill on the board. That's a mega kill streak for Crit, by the way. He's got 5 kills. 5 of the 7 kills have been his. He has been playing remarkably good. He even picks up the tome here. Chen's like, sorry Chen, I want another point in Devour or something.
Z-Freak.
Good, he'll be very farmed.
He's walking his pet squirrel over here, but Bushwhack will push him back. It feels like, just a total turn on the head here. EG playing very, very quickly. Z-Freak, oh dear, this is looking like a dead squirrel. Yep.
This will only hurt.
But the aggression is really amped up here on the side of EG. They played this very well.
Yeah, they really have been. It just feels like the Hoodwink hasn't been able to slow down what EG's been doing. He's more of like a disabler follow-up type hero. He hasn't hit 6 yet, not even close, of course. So even getting level advantages have been tough. So he's like scrambling to try to like slow this shit down, but it just doesn't feel like he's even close to being able to do so. Maybe they can fly at least.
They should be able to get fly. I say they should. All right, Bushwhack. All right, eventually.
This one feels bigger than most.
The disable fall
works.
Husky slowing down with the enchant. SVG though, they're nearby. We'll apply the break over to the Razor.
Sprites are with us.
But they're just a little hesitant here. How'd they get in here? It's going to take a little bit of time here, and the Shards does have the boat coming in. Going to be able to get that buff on himself, and they walk away so easily right now on the side of EG. Nouns, they're struggling. Nightfall is still here, does have that Tumbler's Toy, but hasn't quite managed to get off the side. As they'll follow up over onto Move, he's already used the Roar. Blood Right getting placed on the ground, though, plus the Stone Gaze. They'll turn their attention over to the Dusa, who is X up. And they're going to hold into place. Can they finish off? Because yes, they can. Nightfall, he's still alive. Gunner, he's hoping maybe he can get the Shards, maybe he can get the vision, maybe he can do anything, but he is, of course, doomed as Nightfall hops back down. Eye of the Storm, plenty of damage. He'll turn the tables. And now Husky's just getting chased by Arteezy.
It made sense for them to cut right going for the Razor because he was separated from the rest of the squad, but they just didn't have enough single target damage. They'd already used Hoodwink ultimate earlier in the fight. If they used Roar, they are hitting Slap It with Enchantress, but like they just don't have any damage output yet. And they committed to that fight, but all got wiped. So really bad place for the Nouns to be at right now. There's the replay clip. Like they threw their spells in, but they just genuinely don't have that much damage.
Yeah, I mean the Hand of God helped out quite a bit too, but
that's true. Little extra heal definitely kept him alive, but
he should be dead. Like looking, Nightfall's like 60 HP here.
And if they actually didn't doom Gunner there, Gunner actually does clean up that kill. So it was a great doom fight crit. He would have been able to soul ring and snowball after landing the ice shards. So definitely a really nice defense there. Continuing to overperform this game. He's already got a blink dagger, by the way, at 12 minutes from a 4-position doom. And he's got war stomp, of course. So he's looking really good.
I feel like we've seen some really good Doom play recently as well. I think, but in the other game with Kataomi was also just having really great positioning. It was just a really good Doom game on top of it because there were lots of heroes that were very susceptible to it, but and a good Doom day.
It has a lot of effective Doom force. EG Smoke Swords top lane, looking for a potential pickoff of a carry or maybe an offlane hero. Nouns are still playing in this area, so see if they can prevent this from happening, but yeah, just both teams poking a little bit, looking for their opportunities.
I do feel like you've got to be a bit concerned when you look at Medusa's net worth right now comparatively to what's coming out from EG. It's not the end of the world, obviously. Medusa's one of those heroes with the split shot. You can farm very quickly, but it's not a position that I think Nouns really wants to be in as they immediately find themselves a Tusk over here in the corner. The snowball, buying a little bit more time, will bump into Fly. But this is not looking good for Tusk, especially not with Ovid. Like, Ovid doesn't even pay attention. He's like, you know what, I'm just gonna go hit the tower.
Radiant structures.
Yeah, he knew they had the kill. They pop glyph at least, so that does buy them a little time, but he's gonna mech these gen creeps. He should have tanked this so long, actually. He does lose a few of them, but I think they'll be able to force the tower dying. Yep.
They're seeing the TPs, though. They're gonna try to push them away. Perhaps. Axe getting tossed out by Moo. Bed does get stunned. Nightfall, though, waiting patiently. Still have Fly here. He's going to steal himself the boar. And he's going to get...
the boar back.
Yep.
There's a lot of switching of creep hands, basically. Mud Golem gets stolen, then the boar gets stolen, then the boar gets stolen back. So he did lose his helmet of Dominator creep doing that action, but it guarantees the fly kill. So they lose their... the tier 2's alive. Hell yeah, great defense for Nouns then, because that looked really bad.
Yeah, they can't afford to be losing that tier 2 that's already losing a lot of the space for the Medusa to be able to farm. So if they lose the tier 2, she's just restricted straight up to that triangle, and that is not good for Nouns.
Yeah, but it's still a big net worth disadvantage that they're playing at 8,000. Once again, Nightfall on the top of the net worth, of course, because he's just that kind of guy. Constantly winning his lane and transitioning so well. And a perfect place to counteract these skeletons, although he doesn't want to show. He's a little bit worried that the enemy squad will pop out and kill him if he does show on these.
I mean, these rally creeps are nowhere near as scary as they used to be when they first
That's true.
First came onto the scene, so he can afford to let them do a little bit of hits over on the tower, but Gunner needs to be careful. They are kind of circling like a shark right now. In fact, look at this crit. Just passing in the night, they find him. They'll doom him. They'll do everything, and Nightfall says, you know what, let me get a little bit of that damage before you go down, bro.
Yep. Not worth it to let him get away, so might as well pop the Doom. And now they're going to set up towards mid lane. They did see Doom TPing, so they're going to know that EG's trying to play in this area now. But the net worths continue for EG. They're very confident in their lead right now. They should clean up this tier 2 bottom now with that pickoff. Gunnar was trying to stop this from happening by pushing out that bot lane as safely as he could. And even though Husky does damage the tier 1 tower of his own, still EG has really good map control.
I feel like Razor's such a silly hero. Like, you look at his items right now, and he's just got a BKB treads and the Falcon Blade currently. Like, not a lot, but he's still doing quite a bit here.
Yeah, those are the items.
Yeah, those are the items that really just make the hero have tons of potential.
You get tanky.
You get tanky naturally by your strength gain and these few items, and then you just get BKB, and you don't really have to worry about too much. If it's physical damage, well, you just static link him, and you take that damage away, and he just gets the now frontline for his team. He's gonna probably transition straight into the refresher. That way he gets the double ulti, double BKB. They're just great position for EG to be in. Now they're going to invade, defend, or take over the enemy's pride camp. That way it's harder for Nouns to move across the map and get farm.
Dire are scanning.
Okay, they're gonna make
is ruptured.
Yeah.
Dire's top
Force out the stone gaze.
Oh, we got him.
And the axe, they get him. They drag him right back in again. There's the boat crit is here. They've got plenty of damage. There is no way for this Medusa to escape now. She's gonna have to try to fight her way through, and they just do not have the damage, don't have the hit points. EG will happily take that kill.
Perfectly done.
Abed gets there just in time with 4 points of X. He had the vision. I think he had a torrent for vision first, then landed the X, if I'm not mistaken, but pulls her back.
You can see the replay of it here.
Pops the ulti, TP's in the tree. Yep, torrent for vision, I think, and then maybe I'm wrong. Either way, catches her.
No torrent.
Nice grab. And the live game, EG's taking Roche with that.
Yeah.
Now that Medusa's dead for another 14 seconds.
Is it Maelstrom proc that gave them the vision? Is that...
No, Maelstrom does not get vision. It could have been Blood Right, maybe casted Blood Right for vision too, but it's either that or Torn, probably.
I just saw the one proc over there and I was like, wait, that can't be it. But there we go. There's the Aegis. It's online for Arteezy. And the lead continues to grow here for Evil Geniuses.
And he's got BKB coming too on Bloodseeker, so only real thing he's got to worry about is Medusa ulti pretty much, but because her raw damage output is really not that extreme, I don't think EG's concerned at all the current game state. I'm gonna pick off Z-Freak on the top lane. That's crit killing him with Doom. He's got a shard picked up as well, and a Philly Stone on Doom, so in case he didn't have enough gold.
He's definitely going to be rolling in it soon. We have like perfect games so far here. Arteezy, no deaths on Abed, no deaths on Nightfall either. Only one death on Crit, and Crit is doing a fantastic job this game. Very impressive.
And Gunnar is close to his Ags at least. It's about 900 gold away, but considering how the game started, where he was being outlaned, and then EG had a much superior 5-minute rotation with tower taking, it just really blew up a lot of what Nouns wanted to do. And then their supports are just running back and forth trying to stabilize things. They lose a couple fights, and EG is just so far ahead. And they're going to try to force a fight.
Again, they find themselves the Medusa. Jump immediately, going to stun her. And there it is. There's the Stone Gaze. They'll still take a lot of this damage away from somebody, and they'll drag him right back in again with the X. He's just unstoppable. There's not much that they can do.
Abed just ran away. He's like, all right, I know you guys got this. All he did was like, all right, I just want to make sure that I offset her movement speed during her ult, and that was more than enough. Goes back to farming mid lane. Just a little gank on the enemy carry. Who's their one core lineup.
Definitely worrying if you are Nouns. Because if you're Dusa, who's supposed to be, you know, this person that's supposed to be able to do, you know, this front lining and whatnot, when the rest of your team is kind of falling behind, goes down that quickly, things are not feeling good.
Yeah, the game is not looking good.
Okay, well, they do get Aurora over onto Fly. They got the Wraith Pack going on top of everything else. Hand of God's gonna get used. This is still a dead Fly. But he doesn't go down without a fight. And Nightfall. Oh.
That's a great kill to find. He didn't have too much threat of dying. He's got decent damage with Wild Axes being maxed, so and that Wraith Pack damage. Don't forget about it.
Oh, Wraith Pack! I can't wait for it to be nerfed. I hope it gets nerfed. I don't like that item.
It just needs a couple baby nerfs. It's not that. Sometimes people choose not to buy it.
That's true. This is true.
Like in my opinion, if they overbuffed anything, it was probably Vlad's. Maybe they lowered the price of it by quite a bit. It was kind of everything, but they buffed it back up to the aura it was supposed to be at. They made the actual Wraith Pact a little better, and they made Vlad's cheaper. That was probably just maybe one or two too many buffs there.
Okay. Well, we do have the Agnum Scepter completed now for Gunnar, so I'm interested to see if they're going to be able to make anything happen with this, because I feel like this timing is not what he wanted at all, and the rest of the team is, you know, struggling to play catch up.
Yeah, I mean,
basically what they're going to do, they're going to try to look for snowball kickbacks, and the targets that they're all looking at, they've all got BKB. So even if they do kick them back, their teammates are going to ideally roar immediately afterwards and then blow that guy up before he presses BKB.
All right.
Oh, he used Blink Aggressive.
He used Blink Aggressive. They could go for this.
Crit.
Oh, they didn't get
the jump.
He's fast too.
And it wasn't Gunner.
And it wasn't Gunner leading either.
Here, TZ opening up with the rupture. Blood right, and there's a snowball like we talked about with BKB coming into play. As does roll forward, they'll kick Doom out. Get a nice pair of shards here.
Now they run.
And now that's exactly what they have to do. Moo's not looking like he's gonna be able to do the run because he does get X, use the roar already. He's gonna get dragged back. Let's take a little bath in this blood right. He's already silenced. And RTZ just gonna run him down one by one. One more click. All right, there it is.
Well, they only lost one.
It's not the worst for the Nouns.
Could have been worse.
Considering the game state, could have been so much worse. They didn't use Doom though. RTZ might die to neutrals. Really close. Okay, he survived.
It's very close.
Very close. He's at like 60 HP there on those ancients, but he killed them first. He knew his limit.
I don't know.
They kicked away the Doom in that fight, which is the right move in the moment. Did they use BKBs? They didn't really even pop BKBs except for RTZ's one. So
I don't know. They didn't really get
much out of that other than only losing one hero. Juice the ulti on cooldown for 30 seconds. She has no item past Manta right now. She does have a Brigand's Blade. That's a decent way to get some damage out for little, but
until she gets Scotty,
I just don't see how she controls or does much in team fights at all.
She's got one of the ultimate orbs now on the courier. Hopefully she can squirrel it away.
That'll be nice. A little more mana
for the twins.
What's something? Definitely needs something here. There's a refresher completed though for Razor, and that is very scary. It's a hero that a lot of times you just see the brown boots refresher sort of thing coming out sometimes with the BKB, so.
Well, they are able to use the Mantle Illusions to clear the creep wave at least. So they don't have to approach too far, but with the gem on the EG side, Abed's run around with it with his Sanj and his BKB. He's not going to lose this anytime soon. So Nouns is basically in the position that EG was last game, where they are. Well, this is more extreme for sure. EG is crushing this game, and Nouns is very far behind. But their high ground is quite good.
They can slow things down
with wild axes, with Medusa, with kickbacks. All you gotta do is yeet them into the fountain. The fountain can kill anybody.
That's a very optimistic way of putting that. My concern is that, they have the Blink Dagger over on this Beastmaster, and they need to, get these good initiations, but I'm concerned they don't have the damage.
Yeah, that part is also
another big issue. That's definitely true.
Like the fountain, the fountain, yes. Okay, maybe they do need to take that outpost, though. I feel like they're just going to teleport on in. Unless they can burst down crit fast enough. All right, go for the war. But like I said, you can see already, they're starting to teleport in. Do they still go in for this, though, is the question. Yeah, Abed, he's joining. Got the X over onto Moo. He's got a boat. He's got Nightfall joining in. He's got his BKB. He's putting out plenty of damage. He's stabbing plenty of damage, too. And, come on, now it's looking like Husky has been left all by himself, and there's a big bad Bloodseeker over here. He's waiting patiently, knows that he's gonna get dragged right back. They get the stomp, and a dead Husky into his arms.
They didn't quite escape
as fast as they maybe need to. I think the issue was that before he got killed, Crit actually did place a ward there. So I think Nouns thought that they were safe to play in that area. They didn't quite escape as fast as they should have, and then they get caught in a couple of punishes. Getting the kill was still fine ultimately, and gold is actually even despite them losing 2 heroes to 1, but that's just because they're so far behind. The game's like, please God, give Nouns a chance to win this game.
Well, they're hanging in there again. 19k net worth lead at almost 26 minutes in. It's still very, very difficult. This Medusa is moving up though in terms of the net worth. The rest of the team though still looking a little sad there on the side of Nouns.
It is looking
rough for sure. I mean,
at least she's almost got Scotty,
about 100 gold away from that. So she pushes up the off lane there. Doesn't quite finish it before she TPs away, but Scotty's going to help a huge amount. It's very, very good against Razor. He's a ranged hero. It's going to lower his attack speed and his movement speed by a lot. It's okay against Bloodseeker, limits some of his heal when he does succeed in getting kills, but
Does this end up being a rapier game?
Good too. I mean, we're close to rapier territory without a doubt. Yeah, the game is her damage is very low right now, so this is one good way to actually get her damage up to a point where she could be competitive.
These wards are giving them so much information. Like they watch Moon Gunner just cross right over there, waiting for them.
And it's really tough to even look for these kills because all these Chen creeps are gonna be a nice buffer between their opponents. So they'll spot out Gunner trying to make these moves, and until he gets Blink Dagger, it's just so hard for Nouns to utilize the Tusk Axe because they're just not even close enough in network.
You have the Scotty completed though, like we said. EG standing around this pit, want to control the triangle area. Shards will block him out for a little bit.
Separating them
is one option if they can get it, but they're just playing around cliff stuff right now.
The bane of RTZ general.
Yes. And the ward vision that it provides is just too good. Now Crit's got a BKB of his own. If he gets gone on again, he should be able to protect himself a bit.
Looks like EG. They are grouping up a bit more. You can see RTZ rejoining up with the rest of the team. Is separating a little bit, so perhaps they can find the advantage. They go for a smoke. There's a double damage. I wonder if they're going to see it. Yeah, they'll see it. That'll definitely help Stabili here.
It's going to be a good time to
fight.
Tower is under attack.
Gets jumped on by Crit. There it is. There's the Doom. But they have the double damage and they've got the worst. So somebody's doing a decent amount this time. Be able to take down Crit. Let's continue over onto Nightfall. Suddenly though, oh, there it is. There's that refresher there. Just handling this Medusa. Unfortunately, not going to be able to survive here. Husky not looking too great either as Moo is running, trying to just find some space, try to get out, try to teleport, but he can't. He gets bashed and he will fall.
And Gunner walks away from his team like, hey, I'm alive, guys. But that's the problem right now. If he gets doomed in these fights, it's just Medusa. And yeah, sure, if he kills Crit, lands a nice ultimate on him, and that limits Brazier jumping in. But once that's over, she's like, oh shit, they're gonna go on me. I don't have BKB, I can't TP.
Now the damage comes.
And the pressure is on. They've got themselves an Ancient Dragon. And they're just cutting through these towers. Lincoln's completed for RTZ. It's going to be even harder to lock this guy down.
Top tower is under attack.
Very farmed.
And they're thinking about the Roche. The ping coming out.
I mean, utter map control here. Not too many cooldowns burned on the Noun side, so I guess they could jump and fight if they want to. And that's probably why EG is sitting where they are right now.
They want to fight around
the ward.
They smoke up out of the base. There's an arcane rune outside of the Roche pit gunner. Smoke will break pretty quickly. Here's Husky. He's going to throw his body forward. Immediately coming out Hex, though. That's brand new, shiny off of Abed. Good ward, though, coming out from it. We'll buy a bit more time. The X coming into play, but they have the snowball. They're going to roll right back in. The kick back over onto Crit. They should be able to do enough damage over here on the side, so they'll be able to take down Crit. Gunner still, no, they'll be able to find the final hit, and now they're just chasing after this Medusa. Stabili, he's trying to get out of here. They popped the BKB. BKB is completed, though. It's already out of time. Over onto RTZ. They're going to try to fight a little bit longer. The Lincoln's coming to play. No, they cannot do it. RTZ finding the kill on Stabili and finding kill on Husky. Moo looks like he is next on the hit list. It's a triple kill for RTZ, and that is going to open up this base real nice like for the side of Evil Geniuses.
They absolutely read Noun's movement there. They didn't start a roast. They said, nah, we're just going to sit on this high ground. We're going to break things. That Hex was insane. Break pickup from Abed. The moment he saw Gunner, he hexed him. No shenanigans with the kickback there. Just started the fight on a great place for Nouns and allows them to use their network advantage to end that fight. Frankly, I'm a little surprised they haven't GG'd yet after how that last fight went. But it's only going to be 2 racks.
Their cooldowns are pretty low here in terms of death timers. At the very least, you know, the one shining silver lining here is that they are right back up again, so. But they're about to lose Husky again. Buyback coming up from Husky. The rest of the team, they're going to try to punish RTZ as I do have that roar. So they'll find the kill. It's a godlike 10-time streak. Nightfall popping the BKB. Will use the snowball to kick back over onto Abed. Can they do enough damage? Is the question. Now Nightfall, he's just latched onto this Medusa. BKB, another buyback coming out from Z-Frig as Gunner. He's being chased down. He needs to get away faster as they'll get the pushback over on the side, but they're still going to end up losing Gunner. He has no buyback. Break being applied. Crit jumping forward. Sees himself this Medusa. They try to force that forward, but they have the Doom. This is looking very, very bad for the Nouns. They're about to lose their Medusa. The one person who kind of forces them out of the base, and down she will fall. As on the back lines, cleaning up on Husky, and a nice nice stop. The GG finally gets called. Nouns, they tried to be a little too cheeky, I think, this time around, and Evil Geniuses will strike back with a fury.
I gotta say,
Orbit incredibly good towards the end there. X marks on the kickback target. That was Arteezy one of the times. The Hex was so instrumental in a lot of crucial moments there.
But man, the
early game was just absolutely destroyed by Crit.
Don't make it weird.
10 seconds remaining. 5
I'm not gonna
seconds
break.
remaining.
Effie's gonna break.
Evil
You look like
geniuses
Jack Nicholson
turn to
in The
bad.
Shining.
All work and no play makes T a dull boy, so let's get him a draft in front of his eyes. Storm Spirit and Chen banned out, and Lone Druid taken out by Evil Geniuses.
Yep, like these bans from Nouns, I think they've been calibrating their bans in this series. You know, in game 1 it was Storm and Ench. In game 2, because of course the pick order
5
changed, they did
seconds
Storm
remaining.
Viper to not give EG that second flex on Viper. But now I see Storm
Radiant
Chen after that
team
game
pick.
2. You got to respect this Chen, and I think a lot of teams are going to be looking at this being,
Evil
we def ban the
geniuses
Storm,
turn to
we
pick.
need either a counter to a Chen strat or we ban the Chen. So this could be the future of NA DPC against EG, potentially, these two bans.
And something different already, which is the Enigma. We've seen this hero just skyrocket to popularity after the major, but he was also just
10
an incredibly
seconds
contested pick
remaining.
today in
Evil
the
geniuses
Europe West
turn to
DPC.
pick.
This hero just feels so easy to kind of play around, because on paper, all you need is some kind of chaos or havoc on the fight. Just two heroes to group in together, and you can set up for that black hole. Also, your laning phase is just excellent. You can deny like a creep per wave.
10
You
seconds
Eidolons do a lot
remaining.
of damage. They're an effective tool in killing, in pushing, and just
5 seconds remaining.
is a very well-rounded hero. And I'm surprised it took so long for people to kind of realize that Enigma was slept on.
I think it also boils down to you need in your team to have a player that's comfortable playing it. It's not a very, you know, pick up and play style hero. Sure, Black Hole hits the big combos, but there's a lot of like intricacies to the hero, like how you play the lane, how you transition from lane to jungle, how do you like itemize, because you can just go for Blink BKB, but there's so many games where you can go for, you know, the vessel and other smaller items if the team needs it.
Yeah, we've even seen things like Wraith Pact being picked up by Enigma. We've also seen it
Radiant
being played
team
as a
back.
support and not necessarily just an offlaner. So.
Did check though, Nouns, they have played it on pos 4 and 3, so they're not one of the teams that are unable to flex it. There are some teams that only play it 4 or can only play it 3, but yep, Nouns do have the flexibility there for sure.
How about their flex
10
on
seconds
DK? Is it
remaining.
always going to be Gunner 0? Because they first phase it.
5
Yep, I
seconds
honestly hope
remaining.
so. I
Turn
think
to
after
bad.
that game 1 performance, the way in which he opened up the fights probably should be just the carry, the mid lane, sorry. But also, you know, Effie just mentioned the idea of initiation opening up fights. DK is one of the best heroes for enabling Enigma, just because you so quickly get to Blink BKB,
10
then an
seconds
Ags very
remaining.
tanky. You give so much innate vision through just your
Radiant
positioning
team
alone.
ban.
It's hard for Enigma not to hit a good black hole, not to find 2 heroes and just to open up the fight for your team.
And just being able to soak up damage, right? Like, let's say that EG got the initiation on DK instead of DK going in. You can, like, take a few spells and take a few spells, get a couple of hits, and then Enigma can
Evil
just kind
geniuses
of
turn to
counter-initiate there.
bad.
So having some kind of hero who can follow up on a tanky hero getting gone in is also really important for hero synergy.
You know, on the topic of vision, as I've seen this be an incredibly instrumental thing all of today, and obviously in all of Dota, but especially today,
10
why has
seconds
Nightstalker not
remaining.
been trending as heavily as I expected after the major? I feel like similar
5
to Enigma,
seconds
it was
remaining.
kind of given a light shine on it, which I guess Nightstalker wouldn't really like, but it was seemingly popular, and I haven't really seen it throughout the Western European DPC or here, T.
Again, it's a hero that if you have the player that understands the hero and knows the timings, you're probably going to be picking it quite a lot. You know, for
Okay.
example, like Seb, like TSM, he understands the hero, he wants to play it. Mu has played it a couple times, but it is a hero that you need to make it feel like it's always nighttime, right? That's the
Radiant
perfect
team
Nightstalker
back.
player. But every time they pop that ultimate, when it is nighttime, they're finding plays, posturing, and it's just
Evil
the
geniuses
rhythm that you
turn
find.
to
And I think
bad.
it's hard for some players to want to do that when you have the opportunity to play the Enigmas, the Beastmasters,
Or in Moo's
the
case, the
underlords, the heroes that kind of like
Timbersaws.
do everything the entire time, right?
Yeah.
But also, it's not first phase material the way that Enigma is. And a
10
lot of the heroes
seconds
that become
remaining.
popularized are popularized because of their ability
5
to come out so
seconds
early
remaining.
in the draft. And Nightstalker, you can't really do that with. I guess you can get a little bit quirky and first phase him in an odd game or two, but you can't really follow that recipe and win games.
It's like EG right now with this Ench Doom opening. This is the type of opening that obviously maybe not the Doom, but this style of you flex a core with Ench and then suddenly you go Night Stalker later down the line. It's like, oh, surprise, we've now put the Doom on 4, etc., etc. But I wouldn't really want to see a Doom Night Stalker lane. So that kind of concept doesn't work out. But a second pick team that can allow themselves to flex into the Night Stalker later on, that for sure is what would probably give Night Stalker more merit within the draft at least.
That's so. Meanwhile, they target out a little bit of everything on Evil Geniuses. They take out the Coddle, they take out the Pango, and Nouns remove Viper, Bloodseeker, and Batrider from the pools.
Evil Geniuses.
Again, every time we see... Oh, go on, Effie.
No, go on, Teacup.
Radiant
Thank you, I'll keep it quick. I'll say every time we see these teams with like Ench and stuff, they need to ban out tempo setting heroes that just play around the lack of lockdown because of the Enchantress. So these Keeper Lights with quick bots Vessel running around, Pangolier running Thunder, even Beastmaster with its final ban to some degree. This Ench going into mid game will struggle a lot helping the team under this level of threat. So EG very much kind of cushioning the Ench opening and what a potential support Doom will fall victim to.
And they just go back to the Razor that played incredibly well in that game too. It just seemed like, I mean, this hero is an EG hero, right? It's not only Nightfall plays it, but also Arteezy. And just in terms of matchups so far, like Razor excels in just running in and fighting DK, right? You static link him, you just chase him off the fight. And it's not the best hero versus Enigma in particular if it gets black hold, but it's good at clearing Eidolons. It's got an AoE nuke, so it's one of the better heroes. Like, you slow them, you nuke them, you can chase them down a little bit on lane. So yeah, one of the better heroes in lane versus Enigma too.
Radiant team picked.
Mirana. I was going to see if we got 2 snap picks there. Oh, this is an indicator that most likely Enigma 3 now, Mirana 4, and potentially picking up another support.
Looks like another gunner mid DK. I mean, it works. Z-Freak played an excellent Mirana in game 1. Like, the follow-up arrow on Dragon Tail is always going to be a really good combo. And you're also now dealing with arrow in your arsenal versus Enchantress. And Enchantress isn't like the way Chen was in that game too. Chen felt like all over the place as an army. Now Enchantress just has the one creep, and Mirana does a really great job at getting rid of it. So.
Evil Geniuses.
It's a really interesting point in the draft because EG with this Razor pick opening second phase, they're flexing it between offlane and carry because of course it's played in both lanes. And then now Noun's go like, okay, we have to put kind of Enigma in the offlane role because even against a Razor carry, you keep the lane in such a good position, you never really get attacked. You then double pick support. So EG just kind of forced Nouns into this kind of a drafting weak spot by revealing everything. Like you know exactly what's happening with their lineup now. It's the carry and last pick. It's pretty cool.
And Crystal Maiden comes out again today. She saw so much playtime today, and more than the entirety of the last 2 tours in one day.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah.
What a timeline!
It's not great if you were hoping this hero would get buffed in the next patch, because now that it's trending so heavily, well, I guess there's only 24 hours before the next patch. I'm sure the changelogs have been already set in stone, surely.
No, Tsunami. They're, you know, the frogs. He's watching or whatnot, you know, and he's gonna throw in a cheeky little -5 move speed to see him just because it's how dare she get even a day of play. Yeah. She's getting a nerf.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh no, poor Maiden.
You know, jokes aside though, for Nouns, I'm a little bit worried in the fact that sure, with Mirana and CM, you can at least counter Ench in whatever lane she goes to, be it the Mirana or the arrow in one lane, the Frostbite and CM the other. The creep won't do much, but the value of early BKBs on EG has gone up tenfold. The CM, the Mirana, the DK, these heroes, unless you start with DK stun into layered damage after, they are going to struggle against the speed in which EG will itemize for BKBs with these heroes that they have.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought that up because in that game too, the 4 BKBs on the side of EG just came out so early, and Nouns had no counterplay, and they were less dependent even then on their spells than they are in this game.
Are we still looking at another crit Doom, given the way that this Evil Geniuses lineup is shaken out, or is there still some maybe Monkey King mid and Razor carry type thing, or other way around?
It's all up in the air, honestly, mate. It's like this Monkey could easily be 4 or carry, the Razor could easily be carry offlane, the Doom could once again be 4 or offlane, right? Like, they've kind of kept these 3 heroes a little bit ambiguous when in reality, I would assume that it is going to be, you know, Monkey carry, Razor off lane, Doom 4. That's kind of where I'd quickly guess, but no matter what they set up, I feel like it's still very powerful. They have all the clear for Eidolons, be it the Razor Q or the Monkey King Primal Spring.
Oh, okay.
They're happy.
So these are, so my question was going to be, Effie, why the Monkey King pick? And you think it's just now, not only do they have role flexibility with these heroes, but also everyone can deal with Eidolons?
Of course, and also you just have another cancel for Enigma's Black Hole with the Boundless Strike.
Yeah.
And if it is a support, it can just scout out these like Enigma jumps wherever he is, right? It's important to have the vision when you're playing versus these big teamfight heroes. And even if it's not a support, it just excels in the core role in this game. So it fits the bill really nicely.
Well, Nouns are expecting a little bit of offlane or mid because they take out the Mars and they take out the Kunkka. And evil geniuses know that Nouns need to find some hero for Costabile, so they take out the Wraith King.
It sounds unusual, and I don't think EG would do it, but I wouldn't mind seeing a mid-Doom in this game either.
Ooh.
Why do you think that's a good idea?
Like this early Blink BKB, let's say Shiva's Guard Doom can just do so much there. He's not under threat by any of the heroes on the side of Nouns.
No, I like that a lot. Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Not often would you say mid Doom looks good, but yeah, into the DK. I'd maybe argue the weakness is simply protecting the tower. You kind of rely on your pos 4 and 5 to come help out Doom at that point of the game. But overall, yeah, I'd be down for it.
But it's not going to happen. We all know that.
Yeah, it's a spirit hero, right?
If it's not one of 5 heroes.
Turn to pick.
Oh, okay. So Nouns had picked this a lot during the Pro Series, and they flexed it extremely often, but it was totally absent from this series, and now they finally go back to it.
It's a really weird hero where if you don't have a clean way to enter the mid game in terms of fighting, you kind of fall back to ratting quite hard, and then you enable just lanes being pushed out and your eventual team fight to carry you. And they pick an Underlord at the end, so I think Effie was right with the mid Doom. Mid Razor. For Doom. A real shame. That would have been cool.
That would have been very cool, but I see why they did it. But this Underlord pick just, I mean, it's a great hero. First of all, the pit, super value versus Mirana, versus Enigma, DK, CM, and even the Nature's Prophet, but also he lanes well versus this NP, which is going to be really important. You just need a means to clear those streams, and Underlord has those. And of course, you can't forget the value of having the Underlord ult on your team. It's probably the highest value ultimate in the game right now. Supports you and your entire team whenever you feel like it. You can reset defense and you can go push a lane. You know, the sky's the limit with Sky.
5 seconds remaining.
I'd agree. I think my concern for the Nouns is simply that the Fury, you need to have good lane into then propelling your team with every item, and you need to feel like you're getting kills with every item you buy. And I'm just worried that you're not going to have a good lane against Underlord, and each item you find won't feel good because BKBs will be out by the time EG, that timing mirrors, right? So I'm skeptical that Nouns will be able to execute this one, but who knows? I'm always down for a Fury in game to rat their way to victory.
But you're also just countered by Razor as a character in here, so you don't even have like a good matchup for Decor.
It's hard. This game is very hard for Nouns. I'll be very impressed if they win, honestly.
And Monkey King, you're countered by Monkey.
Yeah.
I'll be very impressed if Nouns win this game.
They knew what they were getting themselves into, though. This is a last pick Nature's Prophet, and so it's not like anything should be taking them by surprise, but we'll all be very impressed if Nouns takes this game, because then they will take the series, and that will once again have massive implications, surely, for the rest of the season. But let's see if they can execute on this final game 3 with Purge and Moxie.
I don't know, Purge, will you be surprised if Nouns takes this game? Because it sounds like our panel is very much going to be surprised.
I mean, they're right. There are a lot of counters to heroes, to the Nature's Prophet. Lots of ways to get on top of him and kill him. So that's pretty spooky for sure. And past that, there's still really strong teamfight stuff coming out of EG's side. They still have Doom that they can use effectively against the right cores, locking down and preventing either Black Hole from coming out or to give them the ability to easily kill Dragonite. I don't know. The Doom just feels like the hero of the series without the doubt. Chris been playing it extremely well. It feels impactful basically every game. So I don't know. It feels hard to me for Nouns for sure. EG's got good stuff going for him.
So what do you think is the plan? Because, again, it's a last pick Nature's Prophet. They understand what's already placed on the board. What do you think their idea is here? How do you think that they're going to try to outplay them?
Well, they did need tower hitters. Their push is okay, but not incredible at the moment between Dragonite and Enigma. So adding Prophet on top of that could really up the tempo a lot. I mean, it was the style that we saw Bet Boom do heavily at the major. Safe play Nature's Prophet, then all of a sudden you get one gank somewhere, and a tower dies. And that's something they can really facilitate with the heroes. Remember how fast they were playing when they had CM in the earlier game? It's very similar draft, right? Dragonite, CM, Mirana. Well, these three heroes should be able to make a kill happen. And then if you bring Prophet onto that and you take a mid tower afterwards, that's going to open up the map heavily and make it a lot easier for you to move back and forth and get more of those kills with Mirana. So I think it's something like that. Yeah, maybe the core matchups aren't very good, but it should allow Nouns to get ahead in network.
Looks like Husky's going to bait a little bit over here. It's going to get chased away, but
Where are you going?
nice triple hit there with the Chris Nova, but again, this is looking like the first sacrifice here to EG, and Ovid's gonna start off pretty happy with that.
Yeah, he let them get a little too close to him, unfortunately, but maybe he was not watching. The little courier can be confusing here. Gunnar is trying to set up a little bit of an arrow here. See if he can get it. At this point, maybe not worth it. Is Gunnar gonna stay up here? Okay, so Gunnar's actually side laning. They're gonna put Moo mid on the Enigma to counteract having to lane against Razor. Because if you have to play a DK versus a Razor, you're gonna have a bad time. He's gonna sap your damage, and yeah, maybe your regen, and maybe you can stun, but you're not getting as many last hits or ice. So, the same vein though, Dragonite against Monkey King isn't gonna be great either. That's a melee hero versus a Monkey King. So, I don't know, maybe a bit of a pivot here, but it doesn't look the most amazing.
Shaking things up a little bit, and sometimes that's just what you need to do, because Evil Geniuses does feel like they've got a little bit of a run back. Obviously, they had the Chen instead of the Enchantress in the last game, but a very similar style hero, being able to, you know, have the summons and do the healing and whatnot. And then, of course, we talked about Crit and the Razor this time in the mid lane. Not going to be Nightfall playing it this time around, but also very potent.
Yeah, very, very solid hero matchup there. And Mirana's okay against Enchantress anyways. I mean, you can arrow her creep, for example, so there's some counters there if her creep seems too strong or anything like that. But they got a little pull connect off here to get some experience away from Arteezy in the meantime, which is solid for them. And in the mid lane, Moo's doing a great job harassing Abed. Every time I look over, Abed's sitting at about 20% HP just because he's fighting with Eidolons all the time. And their net worth is still comparable too, so it doesn't seem like he's giving up too many of them.
Definitely not one of these matchups that you ever expect to see in this mid lane area, but an interesting creative one to be sure.
Yeah, he's going to try to take the water rune, but Abed will plan ahead here and deal with it, so that'll get Moo access to even more mana regen if he wants it. But so far, 10 denies on the Enigma, and that's not all demonic conversions, so pretty solid so far, and one of the first times we've seen Abed get behind in the laning stage.
Does seem pretty good.
It's the power of Enigma, though. It's one of the reasons that he's being first phase banned here.
I'd be interested to see what's going to end up happening over the course of the next day, right? Because we are going to have that patch come out, and just see, you know, are we going to see anything that's very massive, or is it just going to be like little tiny things?
Yeah, that part made me pretty depressed actually when they were talking about it on panel about the CMs. Like, oh, the CM's getting picked all of a sudden, and it's like, but wait, is there going to be a nerf almost immediately afterwards?
No, please, no.
Hopefully not. It's too soon. Maybe just don't even buffer.
Just leave her alone, honestly.
Arguing.
Yeah, just leave her alone. Like,
don't change her. She's been waiting so long for this.
I mean, there was a time where CM was picked every single game, though. Don't forget. Like, there are these seasons to particular heroes
Radiant's courier has been killed.
It's true. It's just been a long time since that happened, so I just don't. I'm still in my begging portion of my argument here.
Right. The stages of grief. You know, bargaining. You're in the bargaining portion of it.
Yeah, please. Oh, come on, Ice Frog. She doesn't deserve it. She had one good week. She didn't even win all of our games.
That's true. They keep going back to that on the panel, saying that, you know, Crystal Maiden, you know, she didn't. What was it, the PSG LTD game when they picked her? You know, they keep going back to that. But also, Brain picked her. I believe they won that game. You know, don't count them out. But I don't want to argue for them to like nerf this hero. So
Yeah.
Never mind, forget it.
She's decent. She's not amazing, maybe, but I like playing her at least. A little stack pull going on here for Crystal Maiden on the Noun side, so their lane must be going good if they're able to keep Nightfall away from that. But he's been kind of solo for a bit here, Crit moving along the map, and Nightfall still has more experience than Costabile does too, so he's pretty happy with what his position is at, seems like.
Fairly close together on terms of the CS at the very least, but yeah, I mean, there's not much that they can really do to an Underlord at this time, especially when you consider, you know, it is a Crystal Maiden. You have a couple things that you could possibly kind of mess around with, but fairly tanky.
They're giving him ice armor too. Crit stole that one, slaps it on Underlord, and he has a double bracer, so his damage is about 100. That means if he can sit in the lane against Costabile, he's going to just out-deny him, and that's what's happening actually. 24 and 10 versus the 16 and 5, 17 and 5 now for Nature's Prophet. So this is why they have a slight level advantage. A little bit easier for Costabile here to get denied.
A bit of a slower game. Do you see some rotations over to the mid lane? Is one of the downsides of an Enigma is the fact that he doesn't have any like good ways of being able to escape. Husky just gonna put a little harass, but yeah, that is definitely.
His skill build's kind of weird too. Got 3 points of Malefice, really worried about defending himself, I think, or potentially getting kills. So less damage from the Eidolon, longer cooldown, but at least he can maybe stay alive when he does get dove.
I'm starting to put that pressure down. I have the Cardi over here. They'll use the enchant. Should be able to take down the creep. We do have 3 heroes coming out from both sides, hanging out in the mid lane.
From the last game. And importantly, the arrow got blocked. I didn't see what blocked it, but it's on cooldown. He wasn't able to kill the catapult here. Oh, and they're going to kill with demonic conversion. Really nicely done. All right, so we compare what just happened with last game, vastly different, right? Last game, it was like they get dove, they die, tower gets killed at like 6.5 minutes. Instead, they dealt with this. The tower still is almost entirely full HP, and Mu goes back to getting last hit. So didn't even skill Black Hole here. He just knows what I'm doing is laning. I'm trying to limit Abed's gold. I'm not going to cast Black Hole anytime soon. I'm here just to do damage and do well in my lane. And now the push comes the other way. Nouns is now pressuring the EG tower.
Yeah, and they don't have those other heroes close by right now to help Abed out, so they get a decent amount of damage. Again, they do have the Cardi. And they're going to try to clean up some of this creep wave, continue to put the pressure, try to alleviate some of the pressure as well over for Costabile.
Gunner chasing Arteezy away from the lane right now. He's got a small level advantage here. He's doing great, 32 and 6 versus Monkey King's 36 and 8. So everything seems fine actually for Nouns right now. In the safe lane though, Costabile getting dove a little bit.
Yeah, he is, and they've got themselves one of those tomatoes. He's cut through over here. That they don't have a way to cancel out the TP, so he barely makes it out.
That was so close. Holy crap.
Courier has been killed.
Siegfried gonna pull the creep wave away from the tower because he's like, I don't want anything to do with this. Keep this away from the tower.
Can you blame him? That was pretty spooky down there.
I don't know what he's going to take with this massive creep wave, but all right. And then Mu continues pressuring the mid lane too. They're doing a good job.
He's bringing it over to Husky and Mu, you know. Stabily making his way over, using that. Nice setup for the arrow, and they'll punish Crit here with a good teleport, and perhaps put some more pressure over on this mid tower, because they have definitely been applying it.
This is the new mid lane. Or is this the safe lane? I'm not sure. A lot of Eidolons and trees, and
indeed, yeah. No, but it's not gonna. He's not gonna chase. He's gonna respect it. You have quite a few of those Eidolons. They do a decent amount of damage.
They did. That was like one volley of damage and lost like 15% of his HP. No wonder he didn't chase. That would have been really scary if he got hit a couple times. So plays it safe instead. But Observer Ward gets killed. At least Crit will get that payback with his death. And in the meantime, EG still successfully killing towers. Nightfall was able to take the enemy safe lane. So I'm just going to press fly real. Wow, Nightfall's on top. Who could have expected this?
I mean, he's definitely had a very comfortable laning phase yet again. Like you said, you know, he's very tanky. You've got the ice armor that Fly had applied to him earlier. So he's been able to just farm and do whatever he likes. But we do have, you know, with Costabile being on the Nature's Prophet, he's got a lot more flexibility, right? There's more options for him to move around the map, do things. You know, he can participate in ganks, he could go for split pushing, he could go jungle. That does open it up a little bit more for him as well. But a lot of pressure now. Just switching over here for this mid. We do have
They're kind of close to blink on Gunner, but he's not quite there yet. And after taking the top tier 1,
He'll be the one to slow things down. EG definitely struggling a bit with their tower pressure compared to the last game. That's for sure.
It's what the ancestors give me.
Fly. There's that the enchant Abed making his way over. They want to finish off that creep, and he still has a little bit of health left.
Dire's
So
middle tower has
we
fallen.
do get a bit of a pause here. I know that they were having some frame issues earlier.
Move out the tower kill. It's pretty good.
Who's cat?
You should.
Stabili?
The sponsor tag looks pretty good. Of course, we talk about cats and you're like, what's happening?
I love cats. I'm
Where's
sorry.
the cat? I must see
I'm
it.
real dumb for cats, okay? Yeah, there's no one there, so. I'm never sure, though. Sometimes I feel like they bait me on that. They're like, yeah, it's a cat. It was not the cat. It's something else going on. You know? But they have to give a reason, right?
True.
Moo has cats, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Surprised you weren't even mega confident about that.
No, because I remember
you
one
would,
of the
like, know
cats
his names.
passed away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so I wasn't sure if he had another one, but I think they had a couple, so. That's all. I'm trying to be sensitive, Purge. You should know about being sensitive, okay?
Just thought you had an encyclopedia of all pro player cats, that's all.
God, I wish. That would be awful, though, because every time that they would get an interview, I'd be like, bring the cat. I know you have one. Bring it.
Where is Mr. Fisticuffs? I don't see him on camera. Can you solve that problem? Thank you.
Oh, man. God, I hope you get a cat someday and name him Mr. Fisticuffs. That is a great name. I think Tango would probably eat him, though.
Yeah, very likely.
Yeah. Bless Tango. What a lovely dog. Again, Fly just taking up residency here. Seafreak doing the best they can, try to pushing him out, but it's gonna need a little bit more help. And yeah, okay, in comes Husky. Gonna frostbite the creep. I want to try to clean it through, but they do have to be careful. The Razor's nearby. Moo is here. Just a little bit of a standoff.
With no ward on the cliff, they're worried about the vision advantage, and even though there is the threat of arrowing Abed, you know, just a little pressure makes things scary. When we get the haste rune, though, nice pickup.
We do have Black Hole now up and running over on Enigma. Interested to see if they try to make anything happen with this. Generally, you know, they try to use some sort of a pick-off when you pick it up. It's not the earliest pickup, obviously, but
yeah,
it's slow down the momentum.
I'm more interested in his Spirit Vessel pickup, actually. Husky poking a little bit. Oh, they might catch him now.
Yeah, no, they don't have a way to. The Blink did just get purchased by Dragon Knight, though, so they do have to be aware of that over on the side of Evil Geniuses because it could set up very nicely. Get a little snipe on the courier. No observer wards for Fly, not right now.
Seafreak's level is pretty abysmal right now. He's just almost level 5 here at almost 11 minutes, but he spent a lot of time trying to shut down what Fly's doing in the jungle. In some ways, they're countering each other here, but I think that's an okay position to be in for Mirana. Normally, you want levels on her, but as long as Enchantress is also behind, that's the hero that's supposed to win the early game, basically. So the fact that she's struggling means that later on, Mirana will transition nicely and still be effective. So
there's the blink reveal of Gunner. That's the team, though, on Evil Geniuses. Looks like they're going to back off. They do have the healing sprites, so Fly is going to be the sacrifice in the jungle, but the rest of EG decide we're just going to let you go.
Just a little too much damage there by Nouns. Just going to give Mirana those very important levels. Kind of a cool build for her, too, since there's already a Spirit Vessel coming from Moo. She grabbed Arcane Boots, and now is going to go for Vlad's, probably the Wraith Pact, as her item option this game, which will be quite good. There isn't that much attack speed on the EG side other than Monkey King, so it could be a decent way to really reduce the damage output of their heroes.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Mirana pick up that level 6, and she does have it now, just because it is going to allow them to set up a lot easier for, and in fact, immediately that's what we see. They've got level 6, they know that they have Black Hole over on Moo, they're going to make their way over. And their lead with that, yeah, they do have the sentry wards, so they do spot them. But they do have that blink dagger that's up and running now for the Dragon Knight, so if they can catch someone, it'd be a very good spike for them.
Invis might give it to him. We'll see if they spot crit here when he's walking around. Nothing just yet. Just see the bounty.
I'll take that.
But yeah, they're hiding. They saw, they must have seen them go for the haste or the Invis rune. So
No opportunities just yet, but ultimately Network's quite even.
Where are you going?
Abed is the least farmed, but he's not so far behind that it's terrible. Oh, there's the kill.
It's a good hit and run there. They were very patient. They had seen Fly there for a bit. So decided that, you know, it's a support kill, but we'll take it. We'll take it.
They settle for what they can get at this point. Now they can invade pretty comfortably.
And they still have that threat of Black Hole on the Enigma.
Dire's
Working towards
middle
the Blink
tower is
Dagger.
under attack.
Does, like you said, have that Spirit Vessel. There are ways to kind of offset some of the healing that'll be pouring out from some of these heroes.
Yeah, this is great for that BKB timing that they were looking to exploit. I mean, they struggled with it last game a bit, but you know, this is the time to be aggressive. They've got arrow levels, they've got 3 points in Frostbite. This is a good time for them actually to counteract and beat heroes like Razor. Moose shows on the creep wave, but hey, they found a hero.
They found Fly again. There's that Spirit Vessel we talked about. They've got the damage. They'll go for a Doom over onto Enigma, so that way they won't have any of that damage. With Crystal Maiden releasing that dance, doing it. Husky, is he going to be able to get enough done? They'll still end up losing Moo. Husky next to fall, and it's looking not great here for the Drag Knight, but he does manage to get through that portal. Or rather get out, and the rest of the team though following with that Fiend's Grate. They would love to get themselves a Dragon Knight, and there's the Atos coming into play. Now he knows.
Yeah, he didn't think they were going to follow him, but they made it through just in time, so instead he goes to be a little bit slow on the creep wave, but they show up and get him, so nice catch there.
Let's see if they can hit me now.
Not the best scenario for EG, but at least they didn't use Black Hole, I suppose. Halfway good fight, felt decent, but Nouns has to be a little bit more careful about taking these engagements. I mean, it's hard to Black Hole for Moo, certainly, especially if you're a core. Because somebody's got to frontline a little bit, and he wants to throw his other abilities, but landing Black Hole and Doom is up. It's just really tough.
I feel like you have to have very specific pieces coming together. Either you've got to be smoked or you've got to have the Moonlight Shadow. Because again, we don't have that mobility item available for Moo just yet. And then you're really, right now, you're just very much relying either on that arrow to connect or the Dragon Knight stun. So.
Yep, that's exactly right. So ideally, he can like let Dragon Knight jump in, everyone jumps in, kills a guy, and then when the counter initiation comes from EG, that's when Moo blinks in and grabs 2+ heroes with a Black Hole. But it's going to take time for that to happen. But in the meantime, he might as well play here aggressive. He still does lots of damage with the Eidolons. Until Abed finishes his BKB, he's not the strongest. Freak might get caught though.
I was about to say, they have to realize that something's up with that courier flying over, but maybe decided that they wanted it anyways. And so
I think this was a nice move for EG to do, that they moved down here with most of their heroes, because it's clear that Nouns wants to play the enemy jungle, and while they're still waiting for BKBs, they can still get like a pick off here while pressuring the lane just fine. Just buys enough time for their BKBs to come. Abed only 400 gold to go, so there 700, sorry.
There were so many creeps there 1 second ago, and then they all just got destroyed by the Wrath of Nature.
It's a good ult.
It is indeed. Gonna have the shard soon for the Nature's Prophet.
Dire's top tower.
In fact, we have it already online. I can hear Jenkins getting very excited. He loves them trees. That was all we heard during the major, was him just getting very excited. Oh, look at those trees in the background.
He was a big Baboon fan for obvious reasons.
Oh yeah.
Loves seeing the split push, Nature's Prophet doing well, all that good stuff. Put in position top lane, no fast blink dagger this game though, so no easy catch here. And Gunner's gonna push out the lane back to base. Trying to maybe grab a kill mid, but Fly with his fast 4-staff here is frankly really difficult to kill. I mean, again, Gunner is kind of the guy that's supposed to set things up. Finally finishes a soul ring, so it's gonna allow him to stay on the map a bit better. But he didn't do the wrong thing going blink rush, because they did need a way to start fights, but EG's doing a good job avoiding those kind of chain disables that normally are a big threat. But Shard as well and Dragon Knight too, so they're very powerful now.
Wonko Stabile here. Open up the Pit of Malice. They'll use the Wukong's command, and their patience pays off. They've been using the gate.
All lined up.
Find this opening though over on Doom. So Nouns will find their own kill.
Yeah. Not the best trade, obviously, because you lost your hard carry, but especially when he's got that matchup. But Monkey King is just going to be able to set up here against the Nature's Prophet in a lot of cases. So
But they've got double blinks now on the Noun side. Gunner will pressure the tower a little bit.
Bottom tower is under attack.
A black hole ready to go if they can catch somebody. Still no BKB for Razor. He's very close to 100 gold.
Looks like they're going to make the initiation over. I'm going to do things split pretty well to go for the black hole. They only manage to go and grab one. They get Nightfall. And they also take a little bit of a bath and all that fireball. But now Moo, he's got to get out of there. He can't get out of there fast enough. Can they finish off on offense though? This is very important for them. Leap forward, come out. How are they going to be able to finish him? And they just don't have the damage. Both of them sitting so very low, and they just don't seem to have it. It's a double kill now. They'll turn their attention over to Fly. Plenty of AoE on the ground, but this is not looking great here. Husky, he is going to fall, and they'll follow up though with that Doom over Subly. They want to finish off, and they finally get Nightfall. They got to get more though. They're just everybody's sitting on EG, just sitting so very low. RTZ, he's trying. He wants this final hit. He wants to get the kill. Is he going to be able to get it? Is he? No, it's going to be Subly. He gets the hit, and Gunner gets the double kill.
Oh my god, thinking the screaming somewhere. Those trees just started. I looked over and I was like, oh man, Kosubi is so dead. He's doomed. He can't get away. But then I look back and they just start beating on the Underlord, and they get the kill by themselves. That was pretty sick. And that allowed them to separate, actually. And that's the only reason that Monkey died, is because Underlord also fell. And they instantly go into Roche with that.
I can't believe that we're not getting message in the group chat right now. Just Jenkins talking about the trees. To be perfectly honest, as Moon does jump forward, he's off it. That is the BKB though. And this is not looking great for Moon because he has no way to disengage right now. So they'll find a kill, but they can turn it back around. Can they get the final hit off over onto Ovid? The arrow coming through. There it is. Husky get the final hit.
Not bad for Nouns. I mean, Moo's definitely way deeper than he needed to be. I didn't even see how he got in there. Here's that fight once again. It kind of looked like everything Nouns did just got them an Enchantress kill. And watch these treants here. Look at the damage. A couple hits on crit, and all of a sudden they just start slaying, dude. Slay all day. Nightfall gets cleaned up. Doom has to run for his life, and then they're just completely separated at that point. They know that they can't really approach. And with Kostabile running left and Arteezy following him, it's like they can't give them the setup for the 2v2. So
that was so close. Really Look close. At Gunner.
Up a 4-staff on Dragonite, very cool. So definitely adjusting to his technically off-lane role. But he's doing great. 4-1 and 2. 4-staff will help offset the value of Static Link. And it feels like they did a great job limiting Abed's BKB. Even though Abed is also playing well. He's 5-1 and 3, by the way. His BKB came slow this game because of the fact that he's just slower from having to deal with the Enigma mid. So that has actually worked out nicely for them and given Nouns decent spacing. It's a very close game.
It's definitely a type of game I enjoy seeing. You know, the other game, it was great if you're an EG fan, but it definitely was a bit of a shellacking. This is exciting to see when teams have to adjust and really play their hearts out against each other.
And in the meantime, Nature's Prophet just easily kills the tier 2 top. Almost no response there. And now they're going to go to control.
Now they're trying to bait, I think, a little bit as
is under attack.
The ultimate gets used from Husky. They'll drop the fireball. Just make sure that they don't really want to cross into that at this time, and they're just going to disengage. BKB is completed, though, for Nightfall. And be able to stand in these fights a little bit easier. Have less of that lockdown. It's not going to protect them from the trees, but, you know.
I just like that that Arteezy this game went for Battle Fury over Maelstrom. It's pretty common for Monkey King to grab Maelstrom almost every single time, but he's like thinking about Sprout in the ultra late game. He's like, I don't want to get embarrassed on Reddit again where like I'm hard countered by not having a Quelling Blade. So he's like, I'm building this into my items so I never have to worry about it for the entire game. It's just not worth it.
I'll put that money to good
Artur
use.
getting bullied by the Reddit. Always feels bad. BKB is completed for Stubbly this time, and they're grouped up around him. Well, you have Arteezy tree dancing in the background. They spot out something. They can see the pings. Hunting, but don't quite have that vision. Capsule arrow. Oh, it's so close. He just teleports away. He's like, yeah, no, I'm out.
That's not spot. Fly takes from the tower, though.
Yeah, and they're going to try to punish him for this, but you have to be a little bit careful. Nightfall in position. Bit of malice will force them away.
Illusion.
Dire's bottom tower.
So now it's trying to play this patient game right now. What's the next objective here? I mean, obviously the BKB is a big deal for Moo. That'll be very important, but How do they want to proceed? Because I know with EG, they just want to continue to farm. They want to make sure that they can protect their towers. What's the play here, though, for the Nouns?
They finished BKB on Monkey King, so getting a great pick would work. Moo gets caught.
Ooh, this is not great, because there's the Fiend's Gate. He's just obliterated too quickly, and that pressure will definitely get placed on the tower. They do get Z-Freak's Courier. They'll get the Doom off overall successfully, so he will take down one person, but he is trapped in the corner with a lot of EG heroes, so Abed will get that double kill. Sorry, Teasy continues the tree dance, lands the Boundless. They're gonna follow up, or are they're gonna respect it? They're gonna back off a little bit over on the side of EG. They do have a tower to still take. As Gunner blinks forward, it's just gonna poke over at Fly. Arrow connecting, dropping the fireball. And a good force staff here from the Crystal Maiden. Buys a bit more time, but the BKB being used by RTZ. He does not care about Husky's ultimate, does not care about Husky's life, and he'll clean up.
Your sister has all the talent.
I'm surprised Noun's hung around so long. Maybe they were looking for an ideal team fight, then they could buy back on profit or something, but if they lose one hero, they get some BKBs out of their opponents, but it's fine.
Radiant are scanning.
Feels like this game's moved a lot slower than the previous ones that we were seeing.
Yes, I mean, some of them were really fast, but this one's not too bad. I'm having a nice time. Decent amount of fighting, back and forth, lots of summons.
Feels like there's a lot more like little pickoffs, I guess, in this game, because compared to like some of these really big team fights that we've been seeing. But it makes sense, especially when you consider that you've got, a Monkey King who's just kind of, jumping around quite a bit, trying to get that farm, and then with the Nature's Prophet, he's a hero that, it's mostly going to be doing his own thing until the opportune moment, kind of like a Spectre in some ways.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I mean, EG's just looking for these great catches, right? Enigma, when he's a core, the game gets a little bit easier because he's going to be a higher net worth, so you just got to focus and kill him at the start of the fight, and everything is going to look fine. And it's either that or you doom him, and both the options are definitely on the table this game for EG. So as long as you can catch Moo, you can have a good game.
Very similar build this time coming out from Abed. We've talked about it before. The Treads, the BKB, and now the Refresher Orb is completed, so a little bit different just because of the fact that it is Abed playing at this time, not Nightfall, but very similar build. Does have that AC.
He got that refresher really fast, actually. Considering his BKB was slightly slow, the last 5 or so minutes have gone really good for him, and they're going to fight again.
EG knows exactly where they are after that one engagement, so they're smoked up, and it looks like they're going to make a wide swing here, going across the river. Crit kind of leading the charge over here.
Fly gets spotted, though. But that's not the guy they want.
They're hoping for more. Moonlight Shadow, stun, follow-up though, crit, no. Quite land this as it's still cooking Fly over here and all this fire. Still alive, just barely, but he will end up dying as now they've got the leash on. They'll lose Moo before he can do anything. They'll lose Gustabli on top of that. Husky, he's trying, he's got everybody here in that ultimate, but just cannot stay alive long enough, and Nightfall is just doing so much work on this Underlord. It's a triple kill for him.
Yeah, the fight started okay.
They want more. They want more. They want Gunner for stuff. Tree Dance, though. Boundless connecting. Abed closing the gap. They have anything to cancel out this TP. Can they get there fast enough? No. Gunner, he's out.
Nice escape. Tries to break the tree there by RTZ standing in it to defend himself, but didn't quite work out, but ultimately still amazing for EG. Nice split push by Mirana, at least to force a glyph and a TP back, but either way, EG still pretty confident in where their game is sitting. It looked kind of good for them at the start, then Nightfall hits the back, but he's so difficult to deal with. They really don't want to throw a lot of spells on the Nightfall, especially with his BKB and his Sange. Like, any spells they throw on him aren't going to be used on either Razor or Monkey, so the problems are very diverse that Nouns have to deal with in these fights, and they still haven't been able to give Moo a good black hole moment. Maybe in some ways him rushing Spirit Vessel was kind of problematic, because yeah, sure, maybe it would help him get kills, but what's most important is getting him Blink at a good timing, maybe, so that he can black hole, and now BKB is what he needs. That way he can actually feel confident casting his ultimate, because every single fight, as soon as he takes damage and his Blink is interrupted, and like any BKB heroes on top of him, he's not going to BKB, he's not going to black hole well. There's just no way.
What? Gotcha.
I guess the one thing that really is helpful is the fact that they have to be extremely careful if EG wants to go into that Roche pit. and try to get that sort of the advantage because there is an Enigma, so they have to be very mindful of the way that they're positioned.
That's true.
But it's definitely proving to be difficult for Nouns. So go for another smoke play. Crit, though, in position, ready to break that smoke. Blinks out. No problem. Nightfall, look at this fly. Nightfall just joining up together. There it is. There's the black hole over onto 2. Are they going to be able to do enough damage? It's looking good. They took down Fly. Nightfall, though, they need to get enough click damage off onto him before he can teleport out, and they just do not have it. He's too tanky.
The halberd usage disarms. Costabile evades a little bit. Good escape there. Great black hole, but look at what happened. Only one hero died on the EG side. That's it. And they've got Doom coming back up. That means they can definitely contest this if Nouns can't kill this in the next 15 seconds or so. Nah, maybe they're not going to book contest.
They have a Fiend's Gate too if they want to try to make a play, but
it's time.
Go for the smoke. Start making their way over. Roche is going down pretty fast. There's the Fiend's Gate placed over onto the side of the pit. Can they get in there fast enough, though, is the question. No, they'll be able to get the Aegis over onto Nature's Prophet, get 4 staff forward, blinking and jumping out. Can they finish off crit? This Doom's taking a lot of damage, but over in the pit, they'll be able to take out that Aegis. And they did use the Doom, but didn't get the kill. As now Stabile, he's going to try and teleport out. There's just so much damage coming out from the side of Evil Geniuses as they'll obliterate him, and they'll take down the Mirana, but they'll be able to find the kill eventually on crit. Arteezy, though, he's hoping he can get himself anything else. Does see Moo over here, but not going to be able to cancel out the TP. Not in time.
That was a really good place for Moo to teleport, actually. He wasn't so close to the trees that if Monkey jumps the trees, he doesn't naturally see him. He was just outside of that range. Forces Arteezy to jump to the next tree that sees him while he's flying in the air, and then he gets out. And Gunnar also escaping. But ultimately, we're starting to see that problem with the Nature's Prophet carry. Even if he's got BKB active, it doesn't matter. EG's ready to fight him. So even though Nouns do end up getting Aegis and killing Roshan, yeah, okay, they kill crit pretty easily on the backline or whatever. They disengage the Doom target, but when Costabile dies and respawns and instantly dies again, it's a tough position to be in. They just can't protect him well enough. They're hoping to force him maybe, but he popped BKB to defend himself. Maybe a mistake there by Costabile, because Gunnar, I think, was in position for that.
Oh, Husky.
Fight goes bad.
Feeling that pressure. Game's not over, though. Moo will help himself to a couple of these bounty runes. We're getting closer to that BKB, and that's very, very important for Enigma. If they can get a good engagement and a nice, clean initiation, could make a big difference. This is one of those heroes that time and time again can turn the course of a fight, or not even the fight, an entire game.
Yeah, and another thing that's turning the course of the game a bit, Fey Grenade on Doom was also grabbed. Once again, this is like the best way to break a Linken's. So even if they want to get a Linken's, it's well, in some ways it's not worth it, because if he ever catches you before you BKB, he breaks Linken's instantly, and he's gonna hit you with Doom. So instead, Nouns is focusing on a lot of 4 staffs. They have, I believe, 2. They're building a 3rd. I think on Nature's Prophet next. That's the solution they're aiming for. Disengage with 4 staffs, Moonlight Shadow kite your opponents, then re-engage if possible.
Smoke play coming out of the side of Evil Geniuses. They see this regen rune, hoping maybe someone will show up for it. You have Z Freak hitting some of these creeps on the side, but they have bigger fish that they would like to catch. They'll comb through the bottom area, but all of Nouns pretty much in this top triangle bit.
Dire's bottom
staying on the high ground. I like the way the Z-Freak is positioned here, just in case, you know, break any of these smokes. BKB is completed now for the Enigma. Crit jumps forward, gets the Doom off. They try to go for the arrow, but it's just not laid. Oh, there it is! Oh, there's the black hole over onto 3. It's beautiful. They need to put a little bit more damage, and by God, they have it. The lose fly. They lose crit. Oh, but he's gonna fly back, and eventually they do end up losing Gunnar, but look at this amount of damage that's coming through. They'll take down Arteezy. Now Husky running for his life. Nightfall's gonna get treed up, though. They need a little bit more. Can they finish off this Underlord? They're gonna try to body block. He does eventually get the kill on Crystal Maiden, but Nightfall will pay for fighting, going and for that murder.
Moo absolutely saving the team fight. It looked pretty rough there for Nouns. No Lotus Orb on Dragonite in time to reflect the Doom. He didn't expect to jump. So Lotus comes, the arrow's going to miss as well. It just looks terrible, like the fight is going to be over so quickly, but he lands the Midnight Pulse and gets the black hole off before BKBs come from EG side, and that means they get 2 crucial kills. The Razor dies instantly, Monkey King gets low, just a huge amount of damage done by Moo.
Beautifully done and excellently executed, and that's exactly what we were talking about. They needed that so badly. just have this clean engagement, and they'll get themselves a tower off of it. Yeah, look in Gunner's face there.
Yeah, they needed that so badly. Gunner was also a little short of buyback, about 70 gold as well. So if they weren't able to get that black hole off and win the fight in a big way there, could have been a completely different game.
Now this does open up a little bit of an opportunity here for Evil Geniuses. Yes, you know, they did take, I wouldn't even say they took a bad fight, it just, they got jumped on. But now they aren't going to have the black hole on the side of Noun, so that's a little bit of breathing room. They could try to do their own smoke, try to go back in.
That's true. There's like a 40-second window where Doom is up, a black hole is not. A crit is still fishing around looking for kills. They have this great ward in position. Maybe Costabile is the guy who goes on.
I mean, that appears to be the person here. He's gonna have to BKB. See, Gunner starts to teleport in. Is he gonna go now? They'll cancel the TP. They'll back off. Not with that Fiendscape being there. Not with everybody joining on the side of Evil Geniuses. They will just back off. And there's a Monkey King in the top lane, but doesn't look like they're gonna be able to get the jump on RTZ.
Yeah, without Basher or Doom available, they just can't get him once he pops BKB. Maybe if Razor's there to do tons of damage from the start to the end of that, maybe they can kill him in time. But yeah, EG makes a little poke, nothing really happens, that's fine. Now overreact a little bit, maybe EG the same, burning Fiendscape, but everything seems fine. Nightfall trying to carry this game, treads, he's going to get an AC next.
Dire are
Might as well.
Classic.
Radiant are scanning.
And smoke from Evil Geniuses as they'll join up with Nightfall. And we'll make their way through the jungle, possibly take back a little bit of the vision and wrap around. See if anybody's home.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
These trees have got to be so annoying though at this point, having to constantly go back and deal with them.
Yeah. And again, they have some solutions, but Razor's really not a great creep pusher compared to a lot of, compared to a lot of other cores. Yeah. Obviously, Monkey King is great, but he's also looking for kills, trying to spot heroes in trees.
So, Noun's smoking up on their own. Gonna go check over this triangle area, see if anybody's, you know, casually farming, perhaps put up some more vision. They're pretty well kitted out. Husky is the first body forward in case they break any of these smokes. And there's a courier over here, so Gunner will clean that up, and that's the buckler and the plate mail.
Yep, he's about 600 gold from his AC, so that'll be delayed for sure. A lot of gold, really. 135 at this point is like half of a kill, so every courier snipe definitely adds up a bit. And the game's even in terms of net worth, so solid position to be in for Nouns, because as Enigma late game goes on, it gets more and more powerful. In fact, he's going towards a Lincoln Sphere, so he can interrupt getting doomed. So now if he BKBs and ulties, nothing's really going to stop him, right? Is that Death, Basher? But there's no Basher, so yeah. Once he gets Lincolns, he gets the black hole full duration no matter what.
Be interested to see if we'll see an Ag Scepter picked up on top of everything else, because that is just massive amounts of damage if you can also get the Midnight Pulse down on top of that too.
Yeah, it can be amazing. I just feel like I haven't seen it forever on Enigma. There's just so many, like, refreshers so good these days.
Well, how often have you seen
the... to buy first.
Well, yeah, you know, obviously get the refresher first, but I'm curious to see if that's, you know, the amount of damage that Moon can output as this mid-Enigma.
It's not a terrible idea, really, because it does, the black hole damage does go through BKB, so if you slap an Ags on top of that, then
be devastating.
Even if they're BKB'd, you're still going to do a huge amount of damage.
Okay, there we go. There's the Basher. That's picked up over on RTZ. So they do have a solution. The Ags completed now for Dragon Knight. Gunner. Gonna poke a little bit. They have the arrow, so should be an easy cleanup.
They just have so many items now on Noun. Like Gunner just finished Zags all of a sudden. The fight win that they had was really big.
A lot of gold here for RTZ as he cleans up the Eidolons, but they know where he is now, so you can see the way that Nouns is skirting, playing in this top jungle area.
The Basher is a big deal that they got it though, because that's again the solution against Prophet is Doom, but Basher also will solve this. So he's gonna have to keep playing safe. But the fact that Kustabile has been able to stay so high in net worth is really impressive.
Yeah. You know, I can still hear the panel. I will be very surprised if Nouns wins this. But they're looking pretty strong right now. They're looking like it looks good and that they knew exactly what they were doing with this pick. Haters, where you at?
Stabile is just farming so fast. That's the thing that's impressing me a lot. The matchups aren't great, but he's not necessarily putting himself in too many dangerous positions. He's now itemized very effectively defensively. Hurricane Pike is so good against Monkey or Razor. He's got Lincolns to protect himself from Doom. Now they're going to just keep lanes pushed and prepare for Roche.
Do a scan over in the area, and it's still going to be a couple more seconds here, at the very least. Before that Roche is going to be up, and they'll go in with the Moonlight Shadow. They found themselves Fly.
Oh dear.
Goodbye, Fly.
To the frozen waste.
That's cool. Gunner's attacking the creep to splash the damage on the Enchantress so he doesn't get the slow. But they're again using the dark. He's doing the same item build, but he's like, all right, Manta time. It's all about vision, in my opinion. That's what he wants to do. Sit on those cliffs, spot enemies, and even if Enchantress is tanky, as soon as she gets stunned, she's still going to struggle on surviving because the Spirit Vessel is finally paying off big.
This is nice here. Okay, Moo had picked up the invis. And like they were waiting patiently, and just in case Evil Geniuses decided to try to make a play for the pit before they started. But EG, focused up, they're gonna wait, they're gonna be patient, and look at this positioning coming out now from Nouns. Yeah. They have the vision placed over on the ward spot. Gunner can make this leap if he wants to. They have that BKB black hole. Gunner continues to try to get any information that he can. They'll send the Eidolons down, they'll see Nightfall. Just clear up the creep wave, continue to push out, and see if they can make Evil Geniuses play into them. And again, it is always Fly. It was the one who tanks some of these cells.
That was Gunner's force that.
Again, they're not too interested. They would like someone bigger. And Gunner will continue to be this bait.
He's big.
He is very big. Big dragon.
They tried to force the Enchantress forward. That way she would be caught closer to his allies, but unfortunately it didn't work out. They're going to go for a smoke, though.
They do have vision
show a little bit by breathing the fire. Are they just going to go high ground? This is cool.
I guess.
I mean, they have vision of Roche, right? So they've got a tree in there for 30 seconds. So.
They've got big trees.
Or do they get a pick off?
Well, again, Gunner's placing himself in these positions so that way if they try to make the jump on him, it's pretty survivable. Moo has the opportunity to find these black holes.
Ulti's done, though.
It's going to be the Fiend's Gate. Start trying to decide what they want to do. Do they want to go in? Do they want to leave? All right, they're bringing everybody in over on the side of Evil Geniuses.
Oh, this is really complicated. They're trying to figure out whether they reset or Nouns get to pick off or...
This is cool. This is very cool. They have to make the right decision here. To choose your own adventure book in Dota, and you only have one choice because there it is. They find the opening over onto Nightfall again. BKB gets used. Force Staff's coming into play. Lotus over onto Moo. They'll protect. They've managed to force some movement out of Evil Geniuses and have them play into their hands.
All right, they know where one more clipboard is. They're going to run over really quick and kill that, and now they're going to finally take Roche. Nouns is playing so well here, just really making it hard for EG to initiate correctly. Both teams love playing around these clipboards, and now that Nouns have defended it, if EG wants to run through this and try to fight, they know that they're running through vision the whole time, and that could set up Enigma to have a really easy black hole.
This is very
So they're making their way over, but it's slow.
They're not going to be in time. CA just picked up for Kostabli. Clean up the little creep over on the side, and Gunner gonna continue this push
shard
to
for
clear
Enigma.
up. Free shard, best one.
Remember, right when it came out, everyone was buying it, and then slowly it kind of fell off, but still pretty useful here.
Oh yeah, we saw it in another one of the games too earlier with the Enigma. The way that it was able to drag in.
They reset waves a little bit while Nature's Prophet pushes out top. The rest of their team, again, playing near these cliff wards. Aegis is up, EG also fishing a bit. A little scared that everybody on the Nouns team will run into him, so they're sitting together. They've got a Hex on Razor, though. That's a big item. 2 hexes in this fight could mean somebody dies that's normally supposed to stay alive. And you can break Lincolns with it, too.
Husky trying to get some of this intelligence over here. Find out where are they on the side of Evil Geniuses.
Warriors of the wood.
As they keep pushing out this bottom area. But they'll teleport back. They're gonna wait a little bit patiently. As Nouns making their way through the mid area, they grab themselves that illusion rune. More dragons.
Beautiful.
You should.
I just have to buy a Manta.
Yeah.
They're forced to scan to find out where Nouns are. They're doing such a good job pushing. That's why they did the summon thing on the bot lane. Enigma went there, Dragonite went there, or sorry, Nature's Prophet went there just to push out. Now they're using an illusion to push out these side lanes too. This whole time, EG hasn't actually seen where the Nouns heroes are for the last minute and a half here, and that's why it makes this game so hard right now. They know that if somebody gets caught, man, that could be the start of the end of the game.
They do have a gem on the Mirana too, so all right. Well, they'll steal themselves their own version of Dragon Knight, so that is a nice thing that they can do for now. But these trees, they just keep coming.
Very good counter.
Pinned into the space.
No surprise, really. Very good for Prophet because he can just farm the places super far away from his teammates. Normally, you don't feel comfortable being this far away from your teammates, but on Prophet, it's just absolutely perfect. So maximizing his net worth, he's going to go for a Silver Edge next. Give them some very nice damage against their opponents. Keeps getting his levels too.
This is such a good play from the side of Nouns because they do control all of this vision. Like we said earlier, they have the gem. They're able to rip down pretty much all of the observers. And then you have the Nature's Prophet, who you just never know where or when he's going to show up. Is he with the team? Is he not with the team? You just have all of these treants just constantly pushing into your base as well.
I mean, RTC's been sitting over here on the right side of the map for a long time with this ward. He's waiting to see if Prophet will TP in. Yeah. Because if he does, he can channel ulti on top of it, and as soon as he gets in, he gets that kill with the Basher.
And they're continuing to poke on poor Fly. Every time Fly is the first one forward here. You get the force staff. Oh, looking at the opening. Good stop here coming up for one of the Lincolns. It comes through. There's the BKB, but still will be able to get the Doom off. This is not looking great for Crit. He is going to die as now Stablet chasing after Fly, drops those trees, gonna start pushing pressure over onto the tower. RTZ seeing Gunner gets the stun. We'll slow him down. They've got a Glimmer Cape trying to protect RT just a little bit more. The arrow, no. It does actually connect very, very narrowly because they did have that Force Staff. These trees going to town on the buildings. Boundless coming out from Arteezy, trying to force them away, but it's looking pretty difficult to get Nouns off of these buildings. They still have an Aegis over on the Nature's Prophet too. They've got the illusions. Look at these big dragons, big trees, big everything. Fiend's Gate over on the back end. Not sure what they're thinking of over here. Perhaps hoping to get the jump.
Dire's top barracks.
Wow, they still got it.
And they didn't.
And Crit had such a good monster stun, but there just wasn't, the follow-up was not ready. Catches 3 people in the War Stomp, but he reflected Doom against himself. Nouns is able to disengage, and Costabile just did tons of damage into that fight.
And you still got to be very concerned because they have Black Hole available. They have 2 Black Holes. Because they haven't been able to use them yet. That was perfect. Perfect item for him. So how does Evil Geniuses commit to a fight? Okay. We'll steal one of the treants, but they just have so many ways of just dealing. Like you said, they have so many items over on the side of Nouns. Every time that they throw out an ability, they have a solution. Whether it's a Lotus, whether it's a Lincoln's, whether it's a Force Staff, they've itemized very well this game.
Their net worth advantage really helps too at this point. It's just been difficult for RTC to play the map and farm it as aggressively as he wanted because they haven't really gotten a convincing net worth lead for a while. And at any point, there's a lot of chain stun threat. And if he gets on the map and he gets Dragonite stunned and arrowed, if there's the 3rd hero there, he dies. So this has limited some of his farming. He's had to be a little bit more careful throughout the course of the game, especially when Nouns has map control like this.
They're doing so well that Crystal Maiden has enough money to get herself a BKB.
And she already had shards, so perfect place to be in for her.
Yeah. Please don't nerf Crystal Maiden. Please, Ice Frog.
Dire are scanning.
Smoke play coming out from Evil Geniuses, though. They use a scan.
Just what I've been waiting for.
Barely catching over here. Do manage to find Gunner. They're going to go for the Moonlight Shadow, the Hex. They've got the Lotus. They finish off those. The question is they do have the Nullifier, so it's not looking great here for Gunner. He's going to get plenty of damage placed upon him. They need a little bit more. They've got the Dusk. Can they close the gap, though? He's actually still alive. He's still kicking. They go. They turn back around. The Black Hole's going to get used on top of everything else. It's looking beautiful. They take out Crit. They took down Nightfall. The chase is on after Arteezy. They'll throw the trees. They've got the damage. They'll get a kill. And they buy back on multiple heroes. Abed. Oh, Abed. He's left all alone. He goes to the refresher. It doesn't even matter.
Oh, my God.
Disaster for Evil Geniuses. Fly running for his life. Here they are, though. They have the detection. They've got the damage. They've got the lockdown. Nouns is just dissecting evil geniuses right now. Nightfall can only do
Hunter
so
was
much.
able to live. I can't believe he stayed alive against Abed when he chased after him, but he did it. Just barely survived.
Okay, they're gonna try to take this again. BKB coming out from Costabli, and there it is. There's the other black hole. They'll lock down RTZ. They call GG. Nouns has managed to do it. They've taken down evil geniuses and a 2-1 victory.
Oh, they gotta be so happy for that. What a great start to the season for them, beating EG. And EG looked pretty solid, pretty decent, but compared to Nouns over the series, yeah, Nouns have straight up played better. They got crushed game 2, game 3 was kind of close, but they out-executed EG. That one fight with the big black hole has got to be what EG's thinking about, because that was the moment they lost so much momentum. Nouns all jumped up like an item,